Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's 1 o'clock and we are here today in hurricane time. All right, it's 1 p.m. on Monday. Thanks for being here. Michael Muller was first today. While Bill gives his condolences, he can't be here because he's making triple time today. Wanted to be sure to put that out there. That's awesome. All right, so what's going on out there today? It's good to see everybody. We have a ton of things to talk about. It's Labor Day. Everybody's at home, I assume, but probably not. That's why we're live today. Everybody's got to work. We're out here working too. So there we go. Let's see what is happening. In the news, the ATA wants to extend the comment period for the hours of service. So there's 30 extra days right there. The FMCSA is considering it. Awesome. HVH closed last week. Did you work there? Holy mackerel. Do you have your chains ready? You have to start carrying chains again in Colorado. Be sure to have 4 chains, 4 socks, or 4 cables on a 5-axle. Love it. There was a 76-year-old driver killed this week, and I wanted to put out there, is that driver too old? Because he was impaled by his own load. He was impaled by his own load. Isn't that something? So is 76 years old too old to drive? What do you think? And I also want to know from everybody, it's my Labor Day poll. Are you being paid today? Is it unpaid day, or you only get paid if you work? So let's see what people think about all that. And let's go right to whatever is going on here with everybody else. So as we say here, Misty is the first chick here. We love it. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. Mark is on here. Thank you for coming in. Trucker Hershey has questions. All right. And I looked at that Daytona Beach webcam. It doesn't look too bad yet, although I don't know if I'd be out there swimming. Kay Wayne is here. Hello there. Thank you for coming in. Michael, I'm sad that you're stuck. I figured, there was a truck. We were out at trying the Impossible Burger yesterday, and there was a CRST bobtail there, and I thought, man, that CRST, they're not going anywhere until Tuesday. James Faust, thanks you for coming in today on Labor Day. So I know they would be stuck here, certainly. Roller wieners for you, Misty, a diet. There are diet roller wieners, I'm sure. I just don't know where they are. Round and Round Brown. Hey, what's going on from Houston? Yeah, when is it not hot there? It's like one of the worst cities. I don't think I could stand living there. Christina, hello. Thank you for coming in today on Labor Day. I'm surprised to see everybody here on Labor Day. The Rooster's here. What's going on? We'll see what's happening. Beta has got your license, and you're going to get your license. That's awesome. First day for license coming up tomorrow. That's great. Get a great place, and it's going to be a great career. Don't listen to all the naysayers and all the recession, all that. Forget it. I've got some rates and stuff here I wrote down that I found today. Everything is looking good, right? So don't sweat it. There's going to be a job for everybody. I'm sad about Maverick, too. Believe me. Tom is here from Florida. Hurricane preps are complete. Yeah, depending where you are, you may need them. You may not need them, right? So we don't know. So it's still out in the ocean right now. They suspended the hours of service for people that are working in relief efforts, not for everybody, okay? But believe me, if you're down there, get the heck out because there's not going to be any fuel or anything coming in. Peterbilt 379 is here on Labor Day. Hello, thanks for coming here. Glenn is home, finally. Are you being paid? Let's find that out, right? Jim, everything is going good today. Thank you for being here, Mr. Hubster. Let's get going. I agree. Right. Daycap Gear Jammer making double today for Teamsters. That is awesome. I know we're going to put you down for getting holiday pay also for sure. I'm sure that's going to be a thing, right? Red Monkey Trucking is out working. Do they pay you holiday pay there today? Just curious about that. So curious. Omar, thank you very much. Part of the Yang Gang here weekly. Thank you for coming in. We'll mention the Yang Gang on there for everybody. Michael, yeah, put the cat, put sleep. The cat put sleep. It's time for trucking heads. Yes, exactly, right. Peterbilt 379, right, doing good. All right, where did I go here, right? Just stay out of Colorado. Well, if you head west of Denver, basically on 70, you need those chains. You got to have chains. That started yesterday. Chain law is back up, so you only had a few months off. The president, George Bush, is here. You finished 2 runs today. That is impressive for someone in your condition, certainly, and thanks for coming in. Ralph is here. Good afternoon. Guillermo will stay out of Colorado, right. The Rooster's also getting double time. We're going to put that right. That's what I figured. I don't think 76. Peterbilt 379. I don't think 76 is too old to drive. As long as you have the strength, you can drive. Well, here, that's interesting because this was a load of steel beams. on this 76-year-old's truck. He hit the brakes, and it slid forward and killed him. Okay, came through the truck and killed him. That's the thing. Did he have the strength to properly tie those down? Apparently, well, they weren't tied down properly because they should sit on the trailer no matter what you're doing. So that's the question. Should there be an age limit on driving? I mean, should you even be driving a car as you approach 80 years old? Really? WV, good day here at work. Made almost $520 today. Wow. Nice holiday pay. So there's another holiday pay we're in for. That's good to know. Keanu 72 is not too old. Yeah, I mean, is it or isn't it? Maybe a job like Flatbed it's too old for because there's a lot of physical labor in that. And, so you really have to tie those things down. They were huge. They were almost the length of the whole trailer. Came right through his truck. Right. Craig, am I a local driver? Yes, I get home every day here. Savage, do I get paid today? Yeah, well, no, I'm asking. I want to know, are you getting holiday pay? Do you not get holiday pay, or do they only give you extra pay if you work the day? Okay, so that's what I'm wondering from people. I'm just curious on Labor Day. Michael is sitting 2 days, and you're getting 2 days of layover at $150. But you'd get that anyway, right? Are they giving you any special pay for Labor Day? For holiday pay, and $150 a day is pretty good in the industry, believe me. Joe says we need to do away with the 70-hour clock. Yeah, go to 60 hours, right? Is that what we're saying? I don't know if that's what you mean. George W. Bush's birthday is this month. Free roller wieners from the pilot. Do you really get a free roller wiener on your birthday? That's awesome. I didn't know they did that. It's kind of like going to Dairy Queen. Sam from South Denver. Happy Labor Day. Yeah, thanks for being here today. Dewey lives in Arkansas, visiting family in Wisconsin, so you got the weekend off. That is awesome. Dash Cam Sam passed the sauerkraut. Yikes. We don't want any sauerkraut on Monday. It's roller wiener Monday. Comfortable man, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Doing great out here. Adco only getting paid to work. All right, so you only get the work pay. So that's not great, of course. We want our Labor Day pay. Tell them you want your pay. Let's see what they say. They'll say, too bad, get to work, right? Is there a way truckers can have freedom to conceal carry? You'd have to have the laws changed where all the states recognize the concealed carry. Where every state, just the same way they recognize a driver's license. Nomad is going to spend the week in McAllen with a blown turbo. I hope you're getting paid for that. That's for sure. Or maybe they could give you a truck. That wouldn't be a bad deal. JJ Godfrey headed to Florida with water. Chandler, unless you went with Pam, the yikes. It's Kim here. Hey, Trucking Journeys, just change your name. Yeah, what's going on? To start out your own channel. Oh, all right. Well, that's great. We'll have to check that out. That's awesome. Thanks for telling us that. Don't get you started on Pam. I'll be paid later when you drive. Washington requires pay for holidays if you work. Okay, but if you work. So, all right, that's fair. But, is there holiday pay if you're not working? That's what I'm trying to find out. And we're saying no to that. Got it. So we need to get paid to work, certainly. That's certainly the goal, right? Red Wine checking in. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Trucker Hershey wonders where I work because we don't have a regular person for that. So I don't ever say where I work for new people. I also do this every week, Monday at 1 p.m. That keeps them out of my videos. You start mentioning your company, then they're all over your videos. Also, I don't recruit for my company. A lot of people, it seems like nearly every YouTuber is out recruiting. Hey, because you get a lot of recruiting money. I don't do that. Let them go recruit for themselves. That keeps them, away from me, certainly. And why don't they just deadhead you? Yeah, exactly. 1099 don't get holidays. Oh, right. If you own your own truck. Otherwise, if you're 1099 and driving somebody else's truck, you're being misclassified, certainly. I rail against that here. It's crazy. James Faust, anyone know if Tri-State Motor out of Joplin is still in business? The green trucks, maybe. Kim, I was told 150 cents. It's holidays. Oh, so it's extra pay. So, all right, I got it. That is extra. GSXR, greetings from Amarillo. I can never forget over in that area. Just here enjoying a day off. Got the truck cleaned up and getting ready to roll tomorrow. That's awesome. Thanks for coming out here. Only paid because you're working, regular pay, K. Wayne. Company pays no holiday. That isn't any good. I'm putting you down in the unpaid column. Tell them, hey, what's up? We need to get paid here. Jared, hello. What's going on? Semper Fido, hello from Modesto. Hello out there in California. Guillermo, beams will fly forward. Not much you could do to prevent them on a panic stop. Well, That's the thing. But you don't hear about this like there are not hundreds of drivers every year being killed with the beams, right? And I ran a flatbed and they never went anywhere. So if that's the case, that they could fly forward, how do we secure these beams then? What do you think about that? So is the other question, is 76 too old to drive? We get paid at DART if you work, if you or don't, like 50 or 75. That's something. We'll put you down for something. I think you should get a full day's pay. You should. I mean, it's a holiday. There's no reason for you to lose pay on a holiday. Caleb, have you seen all the post Black Spoke Matter? No, I have not. Have not seen it. Swift lawsuit sent out the final total. I'm getting more. Oh, even more. They increased the amount. I don't have that phone number in the thing today. But Swift lawsuit is over, and it's 844-330-6991. If you owned a truck from Interstate Equipment Leasing and part of that settlement, they have a settlement for you. So it'd be something worth checking into. If you've moved or whatever, call them and see if you qualify. Trucking Journeys, you don't think you get holiday pay? You're sitting on this little Wednesday. See, if you go home, maybe they don't pay it to you. Every company's got all this different way to do it. They all got all this kind of different thing. Is the cat getting holiday pay? Yes. She's sleeping back there? Absolutely. Glenn gets holiday pay. We're going to put that down. Good. Company does not pay holiday pay. No. We're putting you in the no column. No. Owner operator. Right. I guess you could pay yourself. You're going to pay yourself. Checked in before everyone left on Friday. Oh, nice. Yeah. Every day or so, YouTube clears it off of there, so I can't see the ones from the other days. Savage Cowboy, no holiday pay at Pam. Nice. That's not surprising. Swift lawsuit totals $100 million. Yeah, they agreed to a $100 million settlement. That's really something. At Eagle Express Line to get paid for holidays if we don't work. That's good. Haul in the mail, right? Checking in from Jacksonville. No driving. What's the weather doing down there? It hasn't done anything down there yet, has it? Jeffrey, what's up with Maverick? I don't know. What's happening over there? I haven't heard anything. No holiday pay at PTL. Okay, at Red Monkey. I kind of figured that. Holiday pay at home for laid back. That's better. More than, it's almost even running here. What's up with the ATA? You know, the ATA, they want to extend the comment period on the hours of service. They go, look, we want 30 more days beyond the 45 days. And they said to coordinate with our members. Yeah. What does that mean? Well, they need to coordinate with their members. That's a quote from the ATA about extending the comment period. So remember, every day of extension extends the day that it takes to get the law into effect. So, but the ATA is the first one out there. They want a 30-day extension on commenting on the hours of service. Love it. Can they just close up and go away, please? Trucking Journeys is leaving. Your movie is starting. You at the theater? Officially been at Smith 6 months. Like it. Dispatcher says next year might be able to get a brand new truck. All right. All right. Thanks for coming in. Michael checking in from Omaha. Set waiting to get a load on a holiday, but at least I'm on a guarantee. So at least you get something, you're getting paid. Right. Because they get the guarantee. It's their problem. I love it. Semper Fido, create an artificial bulkhead. Yeah. You know, look. There's not that many of these. You don't hear about thousands of drivers a year dying or hundreds or even dozens of drivers a year dying from this kind of thing. So there you go. Zell, you left KLLM a month ago and life's 10 times better. Thanks for the advice. Thank you for saying that. You know, everybody that's there should leave KLLM. And I'm glad that you found something better. There's tons of places that do better than that. Certainly. It may be to start there, but if you're already there, but then as soon as you get some experience, it's time to move on. Your Pete you recovered last month just rolled past 100,000 miles. Oh, that's not time. It's not time for a new truck yet, is it? Trucking Journeys? Yikes. We got to give the truck a little bit of time. It's annoying changing all the time. We don't want to change trucks constantly. Carl Biley, Swift sent out the final total lawsuit. All right, and thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for sending that over. Swift lawsuit out the big money. Yeah, I know. You're rolling in the dough now out there because they screwed that up. Kim, we don't get holiday pay. Okay, so where I lost, as usual, I roll and lose my spot. It's a normal Monday. All right, so there. I'm moving down here. Mark Talk is a talk show apprentice. Soon it's going to be late night with Mark. Johnny Carson is dead. Oh, yeah. Hi. Hey, BJ. Yeah, we'll do these after hour. Trucking Answers after hours. I need holiday pay, Pam. That sounds like a you problem. That's exactly right. These companies, and look, I think they should pay you. But if they put up front that they don't pay you and then you're there, I guess it's hard to complain about it when they put it up front, or you can certainly ask about it before you go there, right? Do you pay this? Do you pay that? And when they tell you what it all is, and then if you go or whatever, I don't know what to say, Michael Muller, I would say 76 too old to run a skateboard, but reefer or dry should be fine. And maybe that's the answer too, right? Maybe running a flat is too much work when you're that old. Can you secure the load properly? I don't know. I don't know this person. But, when I saw this load and I thought, man, this guy's 76, maybe these weren't tied down securely enough, and that's why they went through his truck. We don't know. We don't know that. They're investigating. But, van, shut the doors. Maybe that's a little bit easier. I don't know. I got double time for working and 8 hours holiday pay, JJ. That's the way it should be, right? You did your work and got extra and holiday pay. That's why one of our other members is not here today. Guillermo, you choke strap them so they don't, but pipe and beams will go forward on a panic stop. Do we know if that's what he did? Yes, that's what the police said he did. And the police actually said they don't know why he panic stopped. They're looking into cameras. But that is what the police said, that we're investigating, that it was a panic stop. So, that's what we have from that. Caleb, they have my pictures up. Oh, I love it. Saying I'm against small companies, only for the mega carriers. And I'm all about autonomous trucks. Oh, please. What I'm saying about autonomous trucks, right, I love this, right? They're coming, okay? There's nothing we can do about it. They are going to come, absolutely. They're going to eliminate drivers from trucks eventually. Waymo, if you know who that is, Waymo is part of Google, and they're trying to get autonomous taxis and cars. And they just said this week, I was reading an article, they are 12 years away at least from a car that can take you around without a driver in it. That's what they said, and they are working really super hard on it. Autonomous trucks, they're coming. What do I say about it? They're coming. All right. Were people against cars when there were horse and buggies? Probably. Oh, look at that person is all about Ford, and I still have my buggy. That's funny. And I'm all about mega carriers. That's hilarious. That is super funny. Yeah, I love the mega carriers. That's why I send people there all the time. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Am I moving away from company reviews? Yeah, I don't do as many as I did of them, certainly. No work, no pay, owner-operator. Yeah, that, Guillermo, that is a problem. That's a problem. But, that's the beauty of running your own business, right? When you do work, you make all that money. And we got rates here. Van rates are up, $1.81. Flats, $2.20. Reefer, $2.14. Spot rates from DAT, they're all up from last week. So that's according to DAT, who's got all the load rates. I don't think they ever watched the videos, Savage Cowboy. They must not watch many of my videos. And am I about autonomous trucks? Look, autonomous trucks are coming. Am I all about them? Do I think the drivers should be replaced? They're going to be replaced. We'll all be retired. Even Peterbilt 379 here will be retired before there's any large-scale amount of autonomous trucks to replace everybody. Look, as you all know, the thing doesn't even work when it's raining. When it's raining, it starts to rain. Oh, radar blocked, right? Clear radar. It's a long way off, but they're coming, okay? They're going to come. They're going to come to us, certainly. Am I about it? I'm in, right? It's coming, so I'll do everything I can, to learn about them so that when they come, they're like, oh, well, Mark knows everything about this. Let's keep him on or whatever, certainly. Michael, I thought if you run Walmart loads, they should have freight to run. Well, is Walmart going to run loads over the weekend? Probably. The Walmart over here is full of trucks, though, because I've been looking at them, and I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of trucks sitting around. There's nobody doing anything. Dorian is supposed to make landfall later this week. Yeah, it's supposed to go right up Florida there and crash into everybody. Partly cloudy and humid. No rain yet. Adco says, God bless everybody. They'll need it in Florida. Mr. Chapstick, what's happening today? Carl Biley, will I do an update on a Swift lawsuit? Yeah, I did a video about the Swift lawsuit, and we talked about it last Monday. If you leased a truck from Interstate Equipment Leasing from like 99 to 2009, it's a lot of years, maybe more than that. You're going to get a settlement, and they should have mailed it to you already. They're going to mail you a letter that says how much you're going to get or how much they anticipate you're going to get, and I guess you get the money early next year. If you've moved or think you're part of it, the number is 844-330-6991, and you can call them and say, look, here's my information. if I'm in there, send me the letter, whatever, because you need to update your information with them. It can be a lot of money, $6,000, maybe more, depending on the circumstances, how long you had the truck, and all the different kind of things. So, can I put up a link to hours of service comments if you have one, please? Yes, I will. Now, I can't do that when I'm doing this, but I will do that. Plus, I did a video about it, and there is a link in that video. It's a few videos back, so right, we'll get that up. Been sitting on the load since Friday. Delivers tomorrow. Not sure when I want to leave. Yikes. Hopefully you're close by. Man, I hope they pay for that. That is a long weekend without getting paid anything. Did I mention Rand McNally miles? No. Okay, so I didn't know exactly what they were talking about. You'd have to call that place. I did see your comment. Okay. You said they're not paying household goods or Rand McNally. You're going to have to call whoever that is and say, what are you talking about? Because these companies, these terms, they interchange them to try to fool you. You're going to have to call the place and exactly say, what do you mean? Keanu learned how to be a truck driver from an 87-year-old driver. It's all about the energy to get the job done correctly. Okay. 87 is, so you're on the yes column for that. Dedicated job at JB Hunt, off and paid $180. That's nice. Getting paid, taking the day off. Do I have trucking answer shirts there? Yeah, I do have some shirts on the website, on Teespring, which I don't talk about much, but yeah, there's a few shirts on there about it. Yep. Guillermo, that 76 didn't get killed because of age, got killed by shifting load. Right, not many happen, exactly. But the question I had was, did it shift because he didn't secure it correctly? These were long beams. They look like they're 40-plus feet long beams. So did that load shift because he wasn't able to tighten the load down enough? I mean, it's a legitimate question to ask when you're 76 years old, I think. Because taking the DOT physical doesn't mean you can secure a flatbed load. It's, taking the DOT physical is super simple compared to that. Arthansa, I'm from Houston doing honeydews. Well, hey, at least you're home, right? Kenworth Rider, good afternoon. Savage Cowboy, trucking answers after hours. That would make a great shirt. It would be only half shirts. They'd be crop tops. Love it. We could wear those with our flip-flops. Anyone recommend a shop near McAllen? Yikes. He'll take a 2 out of 3. Oh, man. They have a nasty habit of luring drivers to jobs like that. When you get through orientation, you get a different job. Yeah, anything you get from these places, no matter their hours or whatever, get it in writing. Comfortable man, you're so right. Have them send you, if they're going to willing to talk about it, they probably have some kind of printout. Have them email you exactly what you're going to get. GSXR hauled a load of cattle with a 70-year-old man the other day, still going strong. It's a personal thing. That's right. You wouldn't have to do as much work on that for load securement. Look, I'm not saying it can or can't do it. I'm saying it's a legitimate question to ask. When a load shifts like that and the driver is old, did he secure the load? And they'll probably be looking at that, although I guess once it shifts, you wouldn't be able to know how the load was secured, perhaps. I don't know. The White Knight, no holiday pay. Crete, but running with no traffic. Oh, the scale should be closed too. So it's getting close. We're still got more paid than unpaid. As a pipe haul, I'm sorry for being honest, but run them over. What black smoke matters crawling up from under the rock they've been hiding under? Yeah, I mean, what's up with that? Kenworth Rider, owner-operators beware, there's a scam going on. Reference a DOT scare. I heard there's some kind of letters going out. I didn't read what it exactly said. K-Dub is getting double pay in Ohio. All right, that goes in the paid column. Savage Cowboy, look in the history of, horse and buggies. Teamsters would back their carriages into the truck radiators in order to disable them because trucks were taking their business. That's the thing. Are autonomous trucks going to take people's jobs? Yes, they simply are going to take people's jobs. Whether it's good or bad, it is. And so I guess people will stand in the streets and block the future, but that day is coming. So keep up with computers and everything so that when they need somebody to work on this, to go with the truck, you're there. Unless you're like 2 years old, though, there's not going to be that many yet. Are there a few of them running mail in the Southwest? Yeah, let them figure out how to get through a winter first, and then we'll talk. They talked about this in the Waymo article where they have the autonomous cars. They need them all to talk to each other and to talk to the infrastructure, meaning red lights, road signs, right lane closed signs. They'll all broadcast a message. And all the vehicles have to talk to all these other things to be safe. They said where you could actually not be in it, or where you could actually, they're talking about the taxi, where you could sleep and not interact with your vehicle and it drive you through Manhattan. They are a long way from that. Believe me, a long way. All these people that are complaining about it, that are protesting it, it's not going to affect them. And then maybe they're like, well, it's going to affect our grandkids. Maybe. But it isn't going to affect us. And it will eventually take their jobs from their grandkids. It will. But that is a long way down the road. K-Dub is getting double pay driving in Ohio. I love it. What's the number again? Okay, Christina. The number for the Swift settlement is 844-330-6991. That's to tell them, like, I moved or whatever, and see if you're on the list, and then they can send you the letter about how much money you're going to get, because it's been some years since they, this takes effect. Michael, I delivered a load in Dayton for Walmart. That was for this morning, but it changed my appointment to yesterday. Well, they probably don't have that many people coming in, so perfect. I think that got it done great. Skynet is taking over. Yeah, eventually all the vehicles, they want to drive themselves. It's safer. Look, it's safer. There's no distractions. The trucks, will they be texting each other? Yeah, probably how to kill us. Hey, well, I got one here. Let's go kill him, right? Lonnie, keep up the great content. Respect. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Daryl, good morning from Oregon. Wow, what's happening out there? Afternoon here already. When will the American truckers shut the trucks down? I don't know when that's going to happen. It's going to be a long time. I think as long as the driver can pass the physical, everything's okay, but maybe not flatbed. So maybe from what people are saying, we should have a separate physical for flatbed that is more physical, basically, than the regular physical, because it does look, let's be honest, it takes a lot more work to do it. I'm already not willing to do it, and I'm only in my extreme upper 30s. Guillermo, how he asked that question of someone that gets killed by shifting beams of pipe and they're 30 to 50. Yeah, I would say, did they secure the load correctly? I would say to anybody, did they secure it? But, we can't just ignore the fact that somebody's in their upper 70s. Like, that doesn't make any kind of physical changes in you. It does. You don't see people in their upper 70s couldn't keep up with somebody in their 30s, that is in good shape. So, yeah, it's a legitimate question to say, does that person have the strength to secure the load? That's all. Maybe that's an interesting test. Maybe that could be a flatbed test for everybody, that you need this much pull strength and this much, these kind of different things that you need to do to get a flatbed. Maybe it could even be an endorsement. Flatbed could be some type of endorsement. So because it's way more work than just closing the door. So maybe it should be an endorsement. Then we are assured that everybody at every age passes the same test and they can, put 50 pounds of pull or whatever it is that they need. I think so. Red Monkey Trucking is here. I believe after a certain age, there should be a competency test to make sure you can handle a truck. Should be the same with a regular license. Yes, absolutely. That you can know the pedals, too. There was just another one here in town. Somebody drove through the front of a building, hit the wrong pedal. Now, it was somebody old. Usually somebody old, but yeah, that's a problem. Can you do the pedals? Until they make a tractor that can back into a dock without a driver, I'm not worried about driverless trucks. Okay, Virgo Life. Interesting. They are working on autonomous spotters because they were working on autonomous spotting trucks because a dock area never changes. So once they program in where dock 22 is, the spotting truck, which they have somebody just to hook the hoses up, can back the truck in every time. Now, will this be easy out on the road? No, because it's not already programmed in. But spotters will also become autonomous first, because what they'll do is block off the dock area and the drop spots, and the spotting trucks will be able to just take those trailers in and out without a driver, just somebody to hook the hoses at the moment. So yeah, absolutely. That's one of the first things that'll go. Repetitive jobs like that are the first ones to go. Oscar, what's going on from Phoenix? We'll be driving to Florida tomorrow. Wow. By the time you get there, everything should be cleared up, though. Daryl says over 65 should be drop and hook only. Oh, that's an interesting way to do it. Maybe a test where everybody passes the same test. That's more fair, probably. Because, Guillermo has a point. What about if somebody 30? All right, they should have to pass the same test, too. Maybe they don't have the strength to secure a load. So make it a legit test that is required for the job. Keanu, there are senior citizen truck drivers that are better shape than these young drivers that you see at the truck stop with super big stomachs that go over the steering wheel. That's true. So how about a legit test Okay, you need to be able to put this much, pull this much, push this much. Yeah, then everybody passes the same test to get a flatbed. It's pretty difficult to get those beams super tight with just chains. If I haul beams, use straps and chains. Glenn, I didn't see what they had on this load, so I'm not sure how it was secured. I know they showed it through the truck. It went basically all the way through, almost to the engine of the truck. Unfinished mysteries paid. July 4th, they paid 2/3 of hourly. Complaint made good. Full pay at Ruan. All right, Ruan is paying you for a day's pay. Good. I wonder why they would pay you 2/3. James Faust, most older drivers have to work because they have no retirement. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for him. I don't know what the situation, maybe he likes driving, but if you're 76, and I guess you have to work. I agree, but certainly you should be able to do whatever job. And we had a driver that worked. He died a few years ago, but he worked literally into his 70s, and he died over Christmas, ironically, and that was it. So he worked literally until he dropped dead. Glenn, I've hauled 60-foot, 70,000-pound beams, and it's never shifted. These were really long beams, and they weren't these oiled pipes or whatever. These look like I-beams, so I was surprised that they moved at all. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is warning motor carriers to beware of a scam letter requesting companies to pay to file their DOT biennial update. Yeah, I saw that there was some kind of letter going out. If you're a company up there, it's probably a scam. George Costanza is here. The fleet manager, Werner, got holiday pay. The drivers don't. Well, put Werner down in each column, I guess. That's nice of them to pay all the office people. And remember that, everybody that's not getting paid, most likely all the office people are getting paid. Johnny, should I look for IT as a new career? You're 51. No way. You'll have a job, no problem. Just keep up with technology. Don't, think like technology is horrible or whatever. Have a good smartphone. Understand how computers work because the screens and everything get more and more complicated in the truck. So if you keep up with it, you won't have any problems. Christina, you're welcome for that. Michael, sorry to say, but the infrastructure in the USA is so bad, it will take 50 years to get the sensors put all together. Oh my gosh. No doubt. I mean, before trucks can talk to the red lights and talk to every road sign, right lane, close sign, how long does that take? And before they talk to each other and all the cars, because they need all that to happen. They also need 5G cell service for that to happen as well, which they're just rolling out now. It's a long, long way away. And I'm not for or against autonomous trucks. It just is. It's a fact. It's like, you're for round tires. Well, they're round, okay? I mean, it's not like you could be for or against them. I guess you could be against them. Chris, checking in late from Orlando. Yikes. We need to get some demerits going. Ready for the storm weather. It's coming inland. Anyone in Florida, Georgia, or South Carolina? Yes, do not risk it. And don't go down there without any fuel if you're headed in the area. They got limited supplies. They're not getting deliveries. Please go in full. Don't take all the fuel from the people that are trying to live there. K. Wayne, is all the cars start talking to each other, they're going to conspire against us and kill us? Oh, absolutely, K. Wayne. Once all the vehicles talk to each other, they're just simply going to kill us all. Oh, absolutely, because we all carry a phone too. Most people, right, have a phone, so they can locate you. They'll tap into your phone, locate you, and run you over. They'll know exactly where you are. I'll totally agree with you. Then they'll just deliver loads by themselves. Absolutely. They did some kind of movie about this in the 80s, I think. Texas, it's brutal for people over 50. You got booted at 45 to a contract position at IT. Yeah, well, that's a problem. You at least have a job driving a truck. Hey, from Michigan, what's going on? Dan in Michigan. Not snowing up there yet, I hope. Savage Cowboy Plus for drive-in loads makes sense. But how are autonomous trucks supposed to deal with little things like cattle and live loads and other specialty freight or reefers? What if the reefer breaks? Oh, look, some loads will never be autonomous. Oversized loads, weird-shaped loads, cattle and live loads. They'll always need drivers for these kind of specialty things. It would take way too much money to develop all the sensors and stuff for just a few loads. So that kind of thing will always have a driver in it. And totally. And what if the reefer breaks in mid-trip? Well, there's no reason it couldn't send the truck a message to drive itself to a shop the same way you would drive it to a shop when the T changes color or whatever. Absolutely. So that kind of thing, it would probably just drive itself to a shop, or it could call a service truck to come out. Michael, Terminator Dark Fate is coming out. Sarah Connor is back. Really? Well, they have chrome shops for driverless trucks, James Faust. Yeah, that's great. And they'll have robots install it. Oh, my gosh. And they'll still have these long-nosed trucks with lights all over them. Nomad, my company, does an extra physical for flatbed. Is it like a push-pull kind of thing where it's, strength kind of test? That's maybe not a bad idea. Glenn Boatman, my question is, why isn't the 76-year-old retired from the industry? I don't want to work. Well, we don't know his situation and what happened to him, certainly. He may need to work. He may just have to work. I don't know. I don't know why he's not retired. I wish he was retired. I'm sure today he would probably say the same thing if he was here to say it. James, we're about to get pummeled in the Carolinas. Flatbed is dangerous. You pull it. There are a lot of drivers at Mercer in their 70s. Well, does Mercer do any kind of special test for flatbeds, meaning a strength type of test? Michael, at TMC, they had us carry a tarp on the ladder. If you're unable to go up, you went home. I don't even know if that's a legitimate test. I'd rather you had like a pull test for securing the load. When I did a flatbed, I always had the guy loading it, put the tarp up on the load. I wasn't carrying that tarp up there, any kind of tarp. Whenever you get loaded, you say, hey, can you put these tarps up there too? I never had a problem with anybody doing it. George Costanza says we don't need more government. Get rid of the DOT. At least if you're going to have the DOT, at least put people in there that drive. Can we have people in there that know what they're talking about? Trucker Hershey, autonomous spotters is easier than over the road. Yeah, it's way easier. What they showed in an area is they blocked it off so that road trucks couldn't come in there. So you didn't have any traffic other than the spotters. They totally mapped it out. They know where every spot is, and they hit the dock first try every time. No problem. And the spotting trucks don't get tired, right? They work 24 hours a day. They don't get flatbed pay either. So we're going to put spotter trucks down as no pay for a holiday, certainly. But yeah, that kind of thing will be one of the first things that goes autonomous. Mega carriers make their money for corporations by cheating drivers. Exactly. What size company is best? What kind of freight paid the best? Well, here's the thing, Phil. It depends what you want. A lot of people like smaller companies. I actually like a larger company, not a big mega carrier, but a large company. Why? For benefits. Like I'm getting paid today too. I'm in the paid column. Labor Day is a paid holiday for me. So some smaller carriers don't do it. But then again, a lot of mega carriers, which are gigantic, they don't pay for it either. Also, insurance. My health insurance here is pretty reasonable in the industry at about $72 a week for two people, which I think is pretty good for good insurance, especially after calling a lot of these places, which they're in the 200s. It just depends. But like where I work, they don't know who you are. You walk in somewhere, it's huge. They're like, what's your number? That's it. But a smaller place, they're like, hey, Joe, whatever, so it just depends. Autonomous ships and trains are your canary in the coal mine. I think a ship would be easier to do, right? There's nothing to run into. Johnny, Texas Trader, thanks for the information. Tinker Olympics, there you go. Trucker, could you do the play-by-play? Oh, that would be good. Fat guy just hangs on the bar to tighten the straps with his weight. Oh, you could just gravity it on there. The autonomous ship hits the shore because the GPS quit working. I think it'll be like a truck. They talked about it in the semis. If that went out, the truck's just supposed to pull over and send some kind of signal. I guess the ship would just drop anchor or whatever it does, right? Gary and Ruth Brunner. Everyone needs to relax on the autonomous trucks. Won't make an impact for 10 or 20 years at least. And they don't do well in bad weather. Still need drivers for many years. We're going to need drivers for a long time. And you're totally right. 10 to 20 years before you see any kind of rollout in any kind of numbers. That's why they're just in the Southwest. And then it's decades more to replace, the million-plus drivers that they have on all of these different kind of stuff that we do. It's a long time. It's a whole career for people just starting now. You'll still have a whole career before there's a large-scale implementation of these trucks. And where will they start? Mega carriers. They have the money to buy them. So as long as you stay out of that, a smaller company, you'll still be able to work. William, hey, from Detroit, what's going on? Your thoughts on mega carrier classifying totes as tanker endorsement needed. A tote is not a tanker. Yeah, depending. It's not them. It's if it holds so many gallons, then it's considered you need the tanker endorsement. Yep. That's my thoughts on it. And personally, I think you should have your tanker endorsement anyway, just as a personal thing, because at least here in Indiana, once you get it, it stays on your license forever. I never have to do anything more with it. You never know when you'll need it. Get the endorsement It won't do you wrong getting the endorsement. Here it was only $5 years ago. Gary and Ruth, it's considered a bulk container. Right, so you need the tanker. Yeah, it's not the carrier, it's the law. What's, Michael, what is the truck going to do when the cell tower is going on, crash and burn? Well, they're supposed to pull over. They will pull over and sit there, I guess, send some kind of SOS out. Marty has seen companies switching to the T680. Yeah, we don't have any of those. Those would be pretty sweet. Isn't that what Millis had? Oh, I mean Heartland, right? Isn't that what Heartland had? Heartland. George Costanza, when Trump shut the government down for 5 minutes, half the DOT were furloughed because they were non-essential. It's just bloat. Get rid of government. Everybody that was furloughed for being non-essential should never have come back to work. That would have been one way to clear up the government. Daycap Gear Jammer. Everybody knows that they keep tires round to distract us from the fact that the earth is flat. Hexagonal tires are far superior. The hexagonal ones would work better, certainly on the flat earth that we have. Absolutely. That's why we didn't see this hurricane come until the last minute. It came up over the edge and came back around. I've seen the robots load trailers at Boller Water Plant. Yeah, some places use robots as loaders because same thing in the factory, in the warehouse, everything's the same. The aisle's the same. The place, it's put in the same spot. Perfect spot for a robot. Absolutely. DA, ships will have crew and pilot helicopter to board approaching the transcrossing. Oh, that's not a bad idea too, right? Have the ship go and then you can just get a captain in at the end. Yep. Only one person on the beach. Are you still watching the webcam? K-Dub, I'm going to convert my W900 to an electric truck so I can always have my long hoods. Well, that'd be interesting if they'll have an electric truck, long-hooded electric truck. You can stick all the batteries up there. If I do a FEMA load to Florida, I need to take my metal detector. Yes, you should. Cassius King Trucking. Hey, what's going on, company? How's it going out there? Good to see you. Skylar Rail had us do strength testing before we hard on. You had to be able to push, pull, and hold a certain amount of weight. It's a machine that does all this testing. Is that for flatbed only, or was that van and anything else that they do? Or is that only on their flatbed? Daryl sounds like Niagara water. Is you're doing a longer show today? No, I think we'll go regular here today. I don't have as many people in here as normal. Cassius King doesn't mind being a number. I don't either. You know, for me, I don't care. I don't even want them to know me. For me, look, it's a job, right? I work for the people there. And so that's how we communicate. That's fine with me. They don't have to know me or anything. You don't need to know me, right? Don't bro me if you don't know me. How about that? Happy Labor Day, the Princess of Dixie Hill, and all the trucking friends. Hope we're all having a safe day. Yeah, thank you for coming in today on Labor Day. I didn't know if anybody would be here or not. Glenn, we had pull tests and cardio site testing during orientation when you went through. But is this for flatbeds? Michael likes companies from 100 to 1,000. I think, see, here's the thing. The more trucks, usually, so it's going to be a larger place, more revenue, so your benefits become more. You get more benefits, and they cost you less. Like I get long-term disability, short-term disability. You know, I have a legal plan at work that I am signed up for. All this we have discounts for different stuff because it's a larger place. And you lose some of that when you go to a smaller place. And buying things on the open market get expensive. The only problem with autonomous ships is pirates would stop the ship in the port and have no load. Oh, Josh, right. There would be autonomous pirate trucks probably. We don't need no education. Mohammed, good afternoon. We'll still be doing trucking companies. Doing it better? Yes. 22 years old here, coming on your first year at this company. I'm thinking about moving on. All right. Where are you going to head off to? And what's one reason why you're moving on, even if you don't want to say what the name of the company is? Those dang pirates. DOT should make showers mandatory. Yeah, let's do something real and mandate showers. Better to embrace the future and be part of it rather than fight it and get left behind. Exactly. Well, you know, it's not like this is some kind of fad or whatever. Autonomous trucks, of course, they said that about cell phones. But autonomous trucks, they're coming. Oh, plus that internet thing, you know. So, look, keep up with technology. And, you know, when you get a truck with a bunch of screens, oh, yeah, absolutely, I can do it. I'm in. And so then you keep your job. Exactly. People that are, oh, forget it. You know, I don't want any part of it. Oh, well, I don't know what to say. You can't work at McDonald's because now they have robots in there. You just go punch the numbers and you don't even. So people always say, well, go work at McDonald's. Well, you can't anymore. They took those jobs too. If you have a certain percent of totes on your truck, then you're required to have a tanker. Yeah, it's the law. It's not just a good idea. It's the law. Once everything goes autonomous, all drivers will be technicians to fix the trucks. You could always move into a different career. Because people are a driver, if you wanted to, you could actually do something else in the United States. I don't know if people that are against the autonomous trucks, totally close them down. You can actually do other things in America. How's it going to pull over if it doesn't know where the shoulder is? All right, well, Michael, the trucks, if you've seen them, they've got all kinds of radar sensors and cameras around the outside of the truck as well, at least the ones that they have now. It supposedly could follow the lines and pull itself over. So that's the problem in the winter, because if it can't see the lines, it can't drive down the road. And so these trucks are not going to come north of, basically I-30 maybe for a long time. I like the T680 interior, but the new Cascadia exterior. Until somebody gives me these LED lights, I'm out. I love my LED lights. David, he likes the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Brookwood, Bruce, insurance companies will not want to insure autonomous trucks for many years. I think that's going to be a big problem too, because they're going to say, who's at fault? It's always an at-fault thing. I guess they get the benefit of all these cameras, but the insurance to work that out, all the laws, every single state law and everything. Oh my gosh, how long does all this stuff take? They can't even do this. The AT wants a 30-day extension on hours of service. How about an autonomous truck extension and all the public rulemakings and everything on that? Oh my gosh, holy mackerel. Hopefully the robots driving the trucks be like Bender from Futurama. I don't know who that is. Steve, did you hear about Ready Trucking? Yes, Ready Trucking is another company besides HVH that shut down last week. Ready Trucking announced they're going to close, end of August? So I guess they're closed now. End of August. Both of these places, in my opinion, since I'm not a lawyer, violated the WARN Act, which if you have more than 50 employees, you need to give people 60 days notice. So both of these places violated that, I think. So we'll see what happens with that. Generally, nothing happens with it, unfortunately. And drivers were just left stranded. Rail is one of the companies that came out and said, look, drivers, you can give any of these drivers a ride home. Just let us know. And no obligation. They were letting them have a ride home. So I think that's pretty good. Pure Hoops, in your understanding, how can an owner-operator make money with autonomous trucks? They probably can't unless maybe they owned the autonomous truck, which would be interesting. You would have authority because the first ones will go to mega carriers that have authority. If you had authority, theoretically, you could buy a truck, put it on, have it move freight, and you could make money. And you should be able to take freight for less. You don't have to pay somebody, and you actually might be able to get business that way. Interesting idea. Some independent owner-operator with their own authority bought an autonomous truck and started moving freight with it. Possible. George went to high school with a lot of farm kids, and they could all drive semi-dump trucks and hopper trailers and work on them. Yeah, so hoppers, it's another one. Hoppers are going to have a job. A lot of these things are still going to have a job for a long time. Semper Fido. When a truck has to go in for PM, the driver by law has to be hosed down with the water. They should be some kind of smell test at some of these places. Maybe they could put sensors at the door of the Loves. And if you fail through the sensor, you have to immediately go in the showers. No, you cannot go to the buffet. Do not pass the buffet. Do not collect any plates of mashed potatoes until you get a shower. Haul autonomous trucks fuel, Daryl. Oh, they already have automated fueling for cars. There's no reason an autonomous truck couldn't fuel. Marathon tested this out. I watched a video about it. You sign your car up in advance. You pull up to an autonomous pump, and it reads a little thing that you have stuck on the windshield, like a QR code. So it knows what kind of car you are. It's got a little suction cup. It opens your fuel door. The pump thing goes in there, fills you up, charges a card that you have online already, shuts your fuel door, and off you go. No reason a truck couldn't be fueled the same way. And really, even so, say they don't do that. It's way cheaper to pay somebody to fuel the truck than a driver, because you can get somebody for $10 an hour to fill up trucks. So that would be, they'll still save money, but there's no reason that cannot be automated. That's something that's easily automated. Mohammed, thinking about moving on to tankers. Good. Your cents per mile is low for the industry, but it's a medium-sized company at 400 trucks. Well, that's kind of a personal thing. I always say I like a larger place because of the benefits, but a lot of people like smaller companies. I think I'm probably in the minority of liking larger places, but yeah, so you might like it there, and you might even be able to talk to the owner, which really helps. Savage, I like that scene out the original Planet of the Apes with Heston. Yes, exactly. James, will driverless trucks have to keep logbooks? Oh, that's interesting. They'll have to keep electronic logbooks. The robots in there will fill their logbooks out and have to pull in the scales. What does the cat think of driverless trucks? The cat is, Gracie is not impressed with driverless trucks, but she knows they're coming too. She wants an autonomous food distribution thing so that she doesn't have to bother me for her food when she wants to eat. She wants autonomous food feeding bowls. That she would be all up for that, certainly. What is the best app for finding truck stops? What is that driver path people talk about? Stay Mav 74. What's up? Glad you made it to the live stream. I'm glad you're here too. Thanks for coming in. Trucker path. Okay, somebody said that right. Matt Davis. Happy Labor Day. Thank you for being here. Comfortable Man Ready Trucking is 100% functional. I love it. HVH was the same way. You could still fill out an application after the company closed. Because when they close, they don't care. They don't have the web people do anything. Who collects tickets? Talk to the driver. Yeah. James Faust, thanks for coming in and saying that. What company will give you 60-day notice? They want the freight delivered. Exactly. They don't do it. That's why this law has... The problem is the law doesn't have any teeth. The owners, the company, and all, nothing happens to them. Sometimes they get a fine, which they don't pay. They go, well, the company doesn't have any money. They should be arrested for that kind of thing. It ought to be a crime because these drivers, although they'll get a job, they're going to lose several weeks of pay trying to go through another orientation and stuff like that. It takes time. You don't want to just jump into another job. So, and you got to get yourself home. One guy was saying, oh, he had to have his girlfriend wire him money for the bus. I mean, how embarrassing is that? But that's why I say have $300 available, at least $300. If you're going to be on the road, have $300 available to you. Trucker Hershey, maybe they were all 1099, so they only had 10 employees. You know, that's a thought too, is that they were 1099 at some of these places. Now, I know HVH was 1/3 company, 2/3 owner-operator, so I don't know about that. But Reddy might have had them, but those people ought to go file anyway for unemployment and say they were being misclassified because those were company trucks down there. Texas Trader, the trial lawyers will be salivating over the prospect of driverless trucks and deep pocket carriers. Well, supposedly, the driverless trucks will have more accidents. They don't get tired. They don't fight with their spouse. They don't, they don't do any of that. All they need is a WD-40 every once in a while. Savage Cowboy, I can see the billboards now for like the hammer, and it's a robot hammer. Daryl the Hammer, right? If anybody who's been in Indianapolis area knows who I'm talking about. Neil, drivers yammering about autonomous trucks while working for peanuts. What's wrong with that picture? I know. Here's the problem. Drivers right now, as I see here, we're about 60-40 people that are unpaid for today. Okay, now the majority have been paid, but 64. Well, how about that? Let's talk about getting drivers paid for their time. There are drivers that have sat since Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they're going to sit today and then deliver tomorrow for no money. No money. We're worried about something that's going to happen 40 years from now. Drivers today are not being paid. Let's get that changed. Not, oh, what's the story? In 40 years, all this is going to happen. Forget that. Michael, I guess Smith Transport will take over Ready Freight since you have a terminal? That's good. Autonomy will put freight rates in the toilet. That is true because you don't need to pay the driver. And generally driver pay is the highest thing that goes on there. And I forgot to calibrate the truck. Oh, right. All autonomous trucks will be electric once they could figure out the problem of recharging while driving. There would be a problem using it and recharging it. Yes. Married Trucker, thanks for the ShipX video. You came over and get paid regardless if you're sitting till tomorrow. Married Trucker, yeah, you're welcome. Look, I like ShipX. You got to be willing to run there, right? I'm sure you agree. But you get your salary every week, even if you sit. So if they don't have a load, you get paid. And I really like that. I like that kind of place that's going to pay you. So it's up to them to find you freight. And if they don't, you just say, hey, let me know when you got the freight. I'll be here waiting. There are a lot of elephants out there getting their peanuts. Right. There are people not being paid. Now, not this ShipX driver. He's going to get his $11.67, I think, minimum salary every week, including when you're off. Or if they don't have freight for you. I love it. Skylar's 21. Wow. You're only a few years younger than me. So I have to deal with autonomous trucks, keep up with technology. Maybe. There'll be no reason to hold back the future. If other countries get more advanced, then military problems happen. That is correct, too. What do we want to live like it's 1752 here? Come on, people. These people that are griping at me will run these other sites. Right, but you're young, so hopefully, right, you have technology or whatever, and just keep up with it as it comes, as new things come up. Just keep learning about the industry. Read stuff about the industry and technology all the time, and you'll be fine in the industry. Even you, I think, will have a job your whole life if you want to stay in trucking. Christopher Robinson, sorry you're late, but you're here now. Thank you for coming in. And don't forget, Skylar, no matter what technology, until everybody's a robot, everybody needs to eat, and everybody needs toilet paper, and that's got to get moved around somewhere. Do I know anything about Taylor truck lines? No, I sure don't. George Costanza, how does an autonomous truck at TMC keep the dashboard and the tires armor-alled? Well, the dashboard would probably never get dirty because nobody ever opens the doors of the truck for any reason. But the tires, yeah. Do you have to armor all the tires there too? Don't tell me you have to buy your own armor all. I'd be like the maid on Family Guy, right? You have to buy your own stuff. No. CLE Johns, I thought about something. How's the lot lizard going to make money when the autonomous trucks come online? Yeah, what about them? Nobody's talking about them. How about those jobs? Those are some jobs we need to protect. Savage Cowboy, hard times for everybody. Technology moves along. There are not people making buggies right now, except a few people. But, does that mean we shouldn't drive a car? Do you not have air conditioning? Because, it's going to put the fan people out of business. That place in Cincinnati that makes those gigantic fans. What about that place? Driverless trucks will not stop for highway patrol. They talked about that, Daryl. That's interesting. They talked about that, and they'll be able to send the truck a message to have it pull over. Because they said, what about if the police need to stop the truck? They will be, because this is when the vehicles all will talk to each other. That's part of it. They'll be able to send it, and it will verify somehow, right, that it's a legit police, and it'll pull itself over. Yep. So you won't be able to steal one, I guess, presumably. Kind of like Schwarzenegger got that taxi, because they'll just be able to pull it over. Blue Lion, what's the topic? Well, I'm talking about these autonomous trucks. We got the ATA that's trying to hold back the comment period by another 30 days. Truck tonnage is up, too. I wanted to tell you that. Truck tonnage in July up 6.6% from June and up 7.8% from 2018. So that's ATBS. So there you go. So the truck tonnage is up. So I don't know what people are all talking about out here. I didn't know HVH was as big as they were. I lived near Denver your whole life and seen them as much as I did. It's not a huge place. 300 and some people I would consider, a small company. Japan is going to clean house with robotic lot lizards. Nice. Wonder if they're going to take away the automatic only restrictions. I'm surprised they still do it. Really, I really am. There's no reason for it. They don't do it in a car. I also was surprised they did it in a truck. They don't have it for a car. You can just go buy whatever you want. So I do think that it will disappear, and pretty soon. Michael, in Germany, they already use autonomous hookers. That's pretty interesting. Wonder if autonomous trucks will be able to handle debris, construction, and the Ronald hazards the hazards that change day to day. That's the problem. They said they have to be able to see all this stuff and talk to road signs, and they're going to have to determine, is this a piece of debris? Is this a kid in a stroller? Is this something I can run over? Is it something I cannot run over? This is a long time. This is not 2 years away. This is decades away. I'll probably be in my extreme upper 40s before that even happens. Johnny says you've been driving since 2012 and only made it to 43 cents a mile. You can start making some phone calls. Certainly, you can make some phone calls and maybe get a raise if, you want a raise. I've been there. They're from Romania. I love it. Romania. I got a friend that's probably watching right now from Romania. What's going on? Johnny, are they really talking about paying sleeper bird time? Do you think that's going to be a reality? No. They are talking about it through the courts and that with the PAM lawsuit. Do I think they're going to do it? I kind of don't think they're going to do it. That is that's a tough ask to go out and say to the public, hey, we need to be paid for our time, including time we're sleeping. The public is like, I don't think so, because they don't get paid for it. Just ask to be paid a decent wage for the time that you work, all on duty and driving hours. Okay, what if you got $300 or $400 a day for that? Then the sleeping time is not so bad. It's like would you rather get $25, $30 an hour for 14 hours a day or $20 an hour for 24 hours a day? If it comes out to the same money, ask for something you can get. You getting the public on our side to say we need to be paid to sleep, I don't know that you're going to get a lot of the public to do that. They're just not going to do it. Racket maker is being paid for today. Good, you go down in the paid column. That's good. People, I'm asking, are you getting paid today or not paid for today? It is Labor Day. I think the one of the main things they have to work out, the machine learning, artificial intelligence is the hardest part. Yeah, is that a piece of paper? Is it a baby in a stroller? Can I run it over? Can I not run it over? That is something. How's a truck going to determine that? That takes a long time to figure that out. How will dispatch cuss out an autonomous truck? Oh, in binary code. 10010010011 to you. How about that? That's what'll come over, and the truck will blink its lights. But my understanding of mega carriers do not want driverless trucks right now. It will be a race to the bottom of freight rates. No, I think so. I personally think they do want them. Dealing with drivers is super annoying at these companies. They have to go through tons of them, argue with them. You don't have to argue. Listen, you don't have to argue with a robot truck. You give it a load, it goes picks a load up. It doesn't care. It doesn't need the day off. It can sit all weekend. It doesn't make any difference. It can run all night. So I think that getting the drivers out of the trucks will be the best thing that ever happened to these. And ironically, England will still have a turnover rate. Even the robot trucks will probably quit. Michael's been driving for a year and have not seen a lot lizard. Look, there's not as many as there used to be. Trucker Hershey saw an ad for a requirement that said 1 year over the road, must have driven in the U.S. for 5 years. So I guess you need your car license for 5 years. So you'd start driving at 16, 17, and so you're 22, right? Do you know why TMC only goes 62? They don't want to hit the bugs too hard and ruin the chrome. Oh, that's not a bad, that actually sounds legitimate at that place. Corey thinks Mark for president. Oh, wow. I can get my own bumper stickers going on. What is the autonomous truck going to do when he runs into a herd of cows? Well, that's the thing. It's got to determine, say there's some cows on the road. Is that a cow? Is it a baby stroller? Is it a pothole? What is it? So that's the problem. And it's harder than you think to program a computer to figure that out. And that is why they are decades away. James Faust, we need to start a pool and one company goes next and the winner gets a year's supply of roller wieners. I thought of getting one of those boards with the squares and you pick it or whatever, but then that's probably illegal. But yeah, who's next? I mean, they're dropping like flies, these little places. Michael says you vote Celadon. They just had that infusion of cash. All freight will eventually run with the trucks on rail systems. I don't know about that. That would be interesting if they railed all the roads. You could put cars on them too. But driving a manual truck isn't driving like a manual car, hence the restriction. Best advice is learn and test on a manual. Oh, yeah, you should not get the restriction if you don't have to. I don't think it's a problem as much as it used to be, but if you cannot get it, any restriction is always bad, so try to avoid it. But that doesn't mean you won't work if you get it, and at some point later, you might be able to get rid of it. Adam saw a lot lizard. She wasn't sexy enough, so he turned on the offer and sent her away. Well, there you go. You got to have some kind of standards. The General Motors Mark of Excellence. Even Swift can't figure out what's safe to run over. How can a truck? Yeah, even the drivers half the time don't know what they should be running over. Friend of mine had 7 stops in Vegas last night and into this morning. Yikes. $40 a stop plus mileage for today and holiday pay. At least they got paid holiday pay and mileage. That's a lot of stops. That's like cash is king trucking territory right there. Corey thinks Celadon. I used to think that, but after they got that money infusion, I'm not so sure about that. They may stay in there. Most trucks are already outfitted with collision system, and as soon as you put it in cruise and something gets in front of you, the brakes will come on. Yeah, but that's the problem. The brakes don't always need to come on. And as we know, this stupid collision system is horrible. Number one, it reads overhead signs and road signs and everything, and it doesn't work. It rains too hard. It says, oh, not working. Snows, doesn't work. It doesn't work enough. So this thing is it's not even correct when it is working. Bucking with counter charge. I'm union, so I'm getting paid for 8 hours. Nice. But never only work 8 hours, and it doesn't count towards my overtime, which you don't get till after 40 hours. Look, I will tell you this. I'm putting you down and paid. Union, you're still doing better than a lot of people. CR England Auto Truck just refuses to turn on. Yeah, they can't even keep the robot trucks. Christopher Robinson is starting a hashtag. Yikes. I have a Twitter over there, Trucking Answers too, so there you go. Michael Muller, Johnny, if you keep the foot on the throttle, it will override the cruise. Right. Trucker Hershey, 5 years, stops foreigners from coming here to drive. Some don't know how to drive here. So a lot of people here don't know how to drive, much less foreigners, as they say. They railed the roads. That's a train. I can't see them installing rails on all the roads. If you have an altercation with an autonomous vehicle and beat on it with my hammer, will I still get charged with road rage? Well, the problem is you don't want the robot to come out of that truck and beat the crap out of you. It won't stop. It has no compassion, no sympathy, right? Autonomous Company of the Week. Oh, right. Lot Lizard robots. That is coming, right? Pay with WD-40. Rule of thumb is if it's under the bumper, run it over. See, the truck is not going to, if it sees something, it might hit the brakes. It might not hit the brakes. That is a really hard thing for people to program in. It seriously is. Is it a baby or is it a newspaper? I mean, you think, oh, that's simple. It's not that simple to program in. Or the brakes come on at 60 for no reason at all. Exactly. Comfortable man. You're driving. Oh, brakes. What? What the heck? The problem is that happens in the wintertime. That happens in the wintertime. If you were to take like a piece of aluminum foil and wrap it in black tape so that it matched the color of the bumper and then stuck it over that radar unit, it would stop the signal from getting out. But you should not do that because companies probably wouldn't like it. Make roller wieners great again for Mark 2020. Wow. You could get the first signed hat available. How would all this auto driving work with my smoothbore tanker? Well, they would program that kind of thing. I guess they would program in to probably be smoother than a driver. But I agree. This kind of thing, look, it's going to be van freight first. I believe that there's more of it. So that's what they're going to program first. Eventually they'll get to you. But look, you're going to be long retired unless you're still driving when you're 76 or whatever watching this. It's a long way away. Will autonomous trucks get free showers at Love's if they get 50 gallons? I bet they will. Plus, they can get their tires checked, too, in that first thing, right? They would just install a cartoonish retractable punching glove. Oh, that's good. Cash is king. 2.5 times pay today for me working. Oh, nice. We're going to put you down in the paid column. Nice. That's a big change from what you would have gotten paid not that long ago, right? Maybe a month ago. And what do you think about it over there? Doing good? Yes or no? I mean, because you made a really big change in your life there. Trucker Hershey now have robot pole dancers. Lot Lizards next. Yeah, and they can work all the shifts. And it'd be the same ones. You can think about it this way, that when you go in on Tuesday afternoon on the B shift, you don't really have the B shift. It's always the same. Comfortable man, wait till the brakes come on in that snow. Look, that's what the thing is. In the winter, if you were to cover that thing in the winter, that wouldn't happen. Now, I'm not telling you to do that because most companies don't like it, but if it was the same black color, it'd be tough to, it'd be tough to say. Yeah, brake check week is coming up in about a week or so. I don't have the date here for me, but right, we're going to talk about that. I see that about brake check, though. Your trucks hit the brakes because of a plastic bag flew in front of the truck? Yeah, and that's the thing. It can't because it doesn't know. That's what an autonomous truck has to figure out, especially with this smoothbore tanker. We can't be just slamming the brakes on going on the highway in a smoothbore tanker in the wintertime. We're all over the place. So the truck has to know, is that a plastic bag or is that a baby or can I hit it? Can I keep driving? See, a driver would know, but because the truck interacts with the brakes, it doesn't know, and that's going to be the problem. Adam says they have some dolls ready. We'll say, Savage Cowboy, you can get a Japanese robotic wife. Talks. Why would you want to buy one that talks? That's terrible. What happens if someone hacks one of these self-driving trucks? That's the thing. They did that with Jeep. When somebody hacks the truck, they could drive it into whatever they want. So that's absolutely a problem. Gary and Ruth, that's right. Daryl, autonomous chain-up area. Well, they have auto chains, which are, as we know, right? I was talking about Colorado here. Do you have your chains? You must carry chains now. The auto chains are available there. They allow auto chains on at least 4 tires. You can have 4 chains, 4 socks, or 4 cables, but you have to have them now through May 31st. Did you see about this driver that was forced? Okay, now that's what the article said. To drive on Ambien. Okay, so in Pennsylvania, some people called in a truck driver. Apparently, he was weaving all over the road. So the cops pull him over, and he fell asleep just talking to them. And he says, look, my dispatcher, I told him I took an Ambien, and they said I have to deliver this load anyway. And so he was driving all over the road. Now, he refused a blood test. And so they booked him for DUI because, he refused it. So But what about that? Forced. See, I saw that word and I thought, you're never forced to do something, especially if you are falling asleep so much that it's unsafe and you're going to go run people over because your dispatcher told you to. Okay. And I will say this kind of thing can be solved by an autonomous truck because it doesn't need to take an Ambien. But this kind of driver, you're never forced to drive unsafely. So, but I did see that he took an Ambien and he was forced. Oh, you must deliver that load. Get lost. How about that? And they pulled him over. He got a DUI for it. But I guess part of it is because he refused the blood test at the hospital. Johnny, will we be able to drive the truck from home in California and I'm in Georgia and that we have a human still driving? Will we be able to drive the truck home innocent California and I'm in Georgia? That way you will have a human still driving. I don't know what you're saying. I guess I'm not quite getting it. Mine gave me a collision warning as I was going up a steep hill. Thought I was going to run into the road. Yeah, exactly. You turn. There's a corner I turn every day, and there's a sign there that's got the left arrow, okay, so that you turn the corner. But because you're still coming up to the sign, it hits the brakes because you think you're going to run into the sign. I'm turning the corner. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And this is not like a year from being, implemented. This is a long way before this could work. Savage would opt out of the vocal option. Exactly. What's the point? I mean, holy moly, you can already do that live. But my Bendix system in the winter, once the sensor's covered with snow, shows an error message, but the cruise still works. Yeah, at least on this one, if you hit the button and it says, do you want to do cruise on manual or something to that effect, and then you can do a left arrow and okay, and it'll still do the old cruise system. Yes. Cash is king. All right, I'm enjoying the line haul. Good. 0 unpaid detention time. Isn't that nice? Making more than being an owner-operator and home every day. So far, I've been filling in on seeing your guys' bid runs. Not bad. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that worked out for you, really. And that is pretty awesome. We as drivers need to change on how our dispatchers lie to drivers. That's true. Cash is King has a 2019 579 day cab with 32,000 miles. Boy, that's somewhat of an improvement. I could turn off all the sensors or leave on the driver's choice. That's even better. Does the air work? I bet it does. Here's what's an interesting thing from ATBS. Now, they do taxes for owner-operators, okay? And they have 8,700 taxes. The average owner-operator in the second quarter of this year made $15,980 net to them, okay? That's $64,000, okay, net. That's not great, I got to say. That's not some great amount where you say, oh, my gosh, I've got to be an owner-operator. And that's from tons of owner-operator information. Now, I will say the average owner-operator is at 66 cents per mile, which is up 6 cents for van, and flats were 82 cents a mile, up 3 cents net to the driver, to the owner of the company, which is the driver usually. But 64 grand net, it's not great. It's a little $1,200 a week net. Okay, that's company driver money. So, and there are owner-operators that make money, but I don't think making company driver money is worth it to be an owner-operator. That's just me. But I thought that was interesting from ATBS. That's from over 8,700 tax returns that they do for people. Interesting. Savage Cowboy, I've told my company before if they don't like the way I'm doing things, and they can come and get the truck along with a bus ticket for me back home, and they've never taken you off. Yeah, that's really what we have to do. Look, Swift, of all places, Swift got the cameras turned off. They had driver-facing cameras, and the drivers at Swift were like, no way. And they turned them off. And so now you can cover it. If you think it's still working, you can cover it. Absolutely. All we have to do, you only get what you'll tolerate. So all we would have to do is not tolerate most of these things. Johnny, I live in Georgia. I'll be able to drive a truck from California to maybe Texas. I'll be doing the Monterey other vehicle. Got to go have a great day, Daryl. Thank you for coming in. Cassius King says the air works. Isn't it nice to have air conditioning and a nice truck? Here's the thing. You got a job, which sounds like a very good job. You're paid for all of your time, but yet they still need drivers. And then there are drivers sitting, the whole weekend or somewhere else for no money. You don't have to sit in the industry without being paid. There are jobs that pay you a decent amount of money and, and paid for all of your time. There are. So absolutely. Stay Mav, 66 cents. That's decent. I don't think that's great money for an owner operator. There's a lot of risk in owning a truck. Tons of risk. You can go broke. There's running a business. For that risk, you should be paid something. Brake slam on a collision warning. Yeah. Yep, on bridges, slam on a bridge. Look, the bridge can be an overhead bridge that you're going under, and the brakes slam on. We all know that. They're horrible. That's why I know these things, they're getting ready for the road. No way. They aren't anywhere near ready for the road. I hate the California laws. I drive a nice, strong '09 freight shaker. Nice. Super strong, Jake, and we have to get rid of it in the next few years because it doesn't use DEF. And '09 doesn't use DEF. Oh, that's right, 2010. Oh, right. You have a few years to go, right? Trucker Hershey Swift driver told me last week they turned the cameras back on. I did not hear that. Is there an article or something about that? Because they made a big deal that they turned them off. So I think what they were doing at Swift was turning them on if you had issues. So see, which a lot of companies do. They go, we have them, but they're off, like CFI, among many others. And if you have an issue, they turn them on. So is that what Swift is doing, or are they on in all the trucks? I didn't see anything like that. Let's not tolerate the California 55. The only reason it happens because people let it. I don't understand why in the desert I have to go 55. Why is it a 55 for trucks? Cash is king. I wish you would have left over the road years ago. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We always regret the things we don't do. So, but hey, you're here now, and it sounds like a pretty good place. It must be nice to have air conditioning and to get paid for all of your time. Isn't that pretty awesome? That's awesome. And you said you still have your truck, so that's even better. Dash Cam Sam gets paid today. Or are you going down in the paid column? Getting a lot more paid than I thought. Okay. The amount is calculated by adding your earnings to the last 60 days divided by 12. Oh, so you actually get a day's pay. That's even better than a lot of places. So we're running about 75-25 now paid. And the ones that have said where they work and are not paid are mega carriers, larger companies. That's not great. Their autonomous trucks will need someone to monitor them. That would solve some problems. Yes. They said initially there'll be drivers in a room, kind of like a sweatshop room, and you'll have different screens. And at some point, you'll be able to take over driving of the truck remotely, I guess, as long as it has a signal. Stay map, sorry. Yeah, not owner-operator, misunderstood. Yeah, they said that the average owner-operator, 66 cents on van to the driver, to the owner. That's not great money. With risk, that ought to be 3 digits at least. I mean, come on. It's 55 in the desert because if you're 65, your truck is getting sandblasted. Well, that's certainly true on some of them. I drove through one of those dust devils one time. I thought, holy mackerel. I thought I was going to have to repaint the truck. So the drug and alcohol clearinghouse is going to start charging $1.25 per driver. That starts in January. Every company will have to do every driver that they hire, and they will also have to test they'll have to query the database for every driver that they already have there. So expect $1.25 to be added on to any of this other goofy stuff when they say, hey, you have to pay this stuff back in the next 60 days if you quit or whatever. Absolutely. And U.S. Redaway has a 1-year apprentice program that out in the Northwest. So if anyone's in the Northwest looking for a truck driving job, USF Redaway, they have an apprentice. You're paid during training as a full driver, and their accidents are down 30%, and the retention is 85% on people that they're doing this for because they're paying them, training them. They have no accidents, or they have way less accidents, and they're getting paid, and the retention is up. Isn't that amazing how that works? When you actually train people properly, they don't have accidents. Oh, I think one of their buddies right down the street there in Oregon ought to listen to this kind of program because they said they're mainly headquartered in Oregon. George, what do I think of RVT Clown with only a few years under his belt, trying to come across as a 20-year vet? Well, I generally don't comment too much on other channels, so everybody has certainly the choice to watch whoever they want, I guess, really. Cash is king trucking. 66 cents a mile after self-employment tax on buying health vision is 12 cents. Yes, you know how much that health insurance of anybody. I think you can verify how much health insurance is on the open market. To buy that, especially for family, right? Super, super expensive. So making the 66 cents to you, then you got to buy all this other stuff. You're not making any money. That is literally no money to be gone. No money. You need a dollar sign, in front of that 66 cents. And that's the average of over 8,700 drivers that they have. So that's crazy. That is to own the truck, 66 cents. You can go get a job for 66 cents. Sammy Hagar couldn't handle driving a truck in the desert in California. Yeah, especially if after he moved his seat back, right? I wonder what percent of drivers like their job. Probably as many as they do in in other industries, which is probably hardly any. Most people in their industries don't like whatever they're doing, no matter what they're doing. Like it's like 75 or 80% of people hate their job, hate what they're doing, but then they're afraid to get fired from a job that they hate. And really, if you don't like what you're doing or whatever, you should go do something else. Life's too short to not like it, especially or to not get paid for what you're doing. But if you don't like what you're doing, get the heck out of there, because you're really not going to be that good at it either, because you really don't like it. If you want to, whatever it is, you want to be a painter, go paint. Whatever you want to do, go do that. But I'll say it's just like any other field, 75 to 80% of people don't like it. Michael, Swift wants us to log on duty and watch videos and not pay us for this. Well, that's interesting, because Federal Labor Standards Act, they don't have to pay, right? Because we're exempt from minimum wage, and they want you to log on duty because watching videos would be on duty because it's safety training. So I guess they want you to follow the log, but they don't want to pay you. What is everybody, if you're working there or whatever, what is everybody doing about it? I mean, what is everybody saying to Swift about that? You want us to do this, but don't want to pay us. I mean, what are we, what's going on? The drivers need to do that, right? When will they start making hair follicle tests mandatory? They said that's a few years away. They had a bunch more testing to do to ensure the quality of the testing in that. It's a couple, at least 2 years. I see that. Thomas, new to this, does 66 include fuel? Yeah, it was 66 cents, according to ATBS, to the driver after expenses. But like Cassius King said, not after self-employment tax, health insurance. That would be your net to you, adjusted net before other expenses like all these other insurances. And that's not great. 60 cents, because you can get 66 cents as a company driver after fuel because you don't pay for the fuel. I don't think it's enough for the risk. You have a huge risk, and it's just not enough money. And we can ask Cassius King, how much is health insurance on the open market? Oh, my gosh. James Faust, back in the 70s, it was common for drivers and dispatchers to fist fight it out in the shop. Oh, that's awesome. My dispatcher's a little dude. I could get better runs that way. That'd be great. We're going, hey, get out here. Let's talk about this for a minute. Boy, I believe that. I mean, it was way more wild then, of course. But even, you admit it, in the 70s, you're making better money than many drivers do today. But that would have been really something. 66 cents is decent for a company driver. Yeah, if you were a company driver getting 60 cents, that's not bad, right? I would welcome that at times. You can go in there and just, demand that better load. I pay $200 a week for all your insurance with Smith, but it's a Blue Cross with only $2,000. Yeah, $200 is more than some and less than others. You're still sort of in the middle of it. That's not terrible. $800 a month, but Smith is not what I consider a huge company. So that's why it's a little bit more, I think. Cassius King, you prefer not to see your company because you have a YouTube channel. It's regional. I agree, right? It does sound pretty good, though, and I'm sure the insurance there is less than you used to pay. Oh, my gosh. I came to National Care from Werner. Best thing you ever did. Werner, another one of these mega carriers. Places start out, then we move along to a better place. That average would be pulled down by lease operators for places like Welfare Express. Yes, I thought about that too, that all these lease operators are in that too. But I mean, that's the best information that we have right now. And that's a lot of drivers, over 8,700 of them that they have information on. So, I mean, that's a good indication of what people make. Are there owner operators that make more? Absolutely. You can make money. I'm not saying you can't make money. I'm not an owner operator. It's not for me. Health insurance and all these other insurances are super, super expensive, though. To buy health insurance in the open market is crazy. It's crazy. I do like what I'm doing. I'm home each day. Benefits are great. And pump grease traps. Yeah, look, if you love it, do it, right? You're going to be great at it. And who wants to wake up every day and hate their job? It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. If there's something you want to do, go do that thing. Whatever it is. Trucking may not be for you. And if it is for you, love it. Cassius King, you went from your dream job being a porn star, but you came up a little short. Holy mackerel. Really? Yikes. Oh, so there you go. Rusty Nail, time to look for a new company. Yeah, I agree. Waited 2 days in New Jersey, drop lot. Waiting on a number, finally got it, went up to get a load, another company had it. You better get paid for that 2 days. As long as they pay you, then no problem. William Landlord, what food grade tanker company? I haven't done many tanker companies. I don't know that much about them. Who's here at a good tanker company? What's Foodliner doing? Anything? Are they doing? What about Questliner? I always thought that might be a better place. Questliner, hazmat tanker, but that's not food grade, of course, but that would probably pay more. I will say that a friend of mine works for a milk tanker company in the area here. It's Ruan, and they run milk out of Fair Oaks, Indiana, which is north of here, but they run all up and down milk, and that pays $227 a day for like 10 hours, and it's drop and hook on both ends. You don't load it or anything on either end of it, so that might be something to look into. I don't know. It includes dental, vision, open road with family, and PPO from Blue Cross. Yeah, still net at least $1,000 a week. Yeah, look, that isn't terrible to include all this stuff in there. Right, not bad. It's an okay place. You're making good money, and you have a good truck there, right? Dispatch, talking crap, like acting like I wouldn't roll up. Me crash his truck in the office. Holy mackerel. You'll get your load that way. The company you work for is 120 trucks. Your health insurance is $134 a month. That is great. If it's good insurance. I mean, that's less than I pay at a large place. Cash is king trucking. My family health insurance you purchased on the open market for wife, 4 kids, and yourself was $1,800 a month. Now the new company is $8 a week. That's crazy. $1,800 a month on the open market. And that would have to come out of this 66 cents net. You're not going to make any money. $15,000 a week for 45 weeks out of the year is $675. No. Don't know what the company is saying. No, they made $15,000 for the quarter. Comfortable man. Not for a week. They made $15,980 for the quarter. There's 4 quarters in a year. That's $64,000 for owner-operators. That's what they're saying. When I work for PAM, the insurance is $23 a week. That's pretty good for a single person, but PAM is a large company, so they're going to have cheap insurance. That's a good thing about a big place. And they don't know your name there at PAM. Probably when you call in, what's your number, whatever. All right. I never had any issues with dispatch. As long as you maintain communication, there's no problem. Some places are really good about it, right? And then some places are like horrible about it. William Landlord. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know that much about him. We'll see if there's somebody here. I don't have that many people on today from a good place. I like Questliner. Savage says 23, not at PAM anymore. PAM should have low-cost insurance. Let's be honest about that. Any of these large mega carriers, the insurance should be pretty low priced because it's a large place. At Smith, we just exceeded 600 seated tractors. That's bigger than I thought it was. I pictured it as like about 175, so that's pretty good. Chris, doing good out here today. Oh, Christopher is a union company. That helps, right? James Faust, the 70s were wild times. Yes. You got any pictures of those fights going on? Trucker Coach TV, hey, what's happening? It's good to see you today on Labor Day. Welcome to the show today on Labor Day. Michael Muller, every company paying 60 cents and up is $10.99. That's the problem with a lot of these places I see. I've seen them 75 cents. Yeah, it's $10.99. You're being misused. You're being misclassified as an independent contractor when you're not one. You're not. If you're driving their truck, they fuel the truck, they dispatch you, they give you the trailer, they tell you where to go. Okay, you're an employee. Simple as that. You're not $10.99, and you shouldn't accept being $10.99. They don't get to take all that risk off of them and put it on you. It doesn't work that way. These companies are just scamming you into thinking you're getting a few extra cents, and at the end of the year, you're going to wish that you got paid as an employee. Comfortable man, $15,000 for a quarter. Yes, that must be for lease operators. No, that's from ATBS, from the 8,700 plus tax returns that they get in, and that was the average, $15,980 owner operator to the owner in the last quarter. Okay, so that's $64,000 a year. I thought that was an interesting thing, and part of it is lease operators. A lot of these companies that lease trucks to drivers, they use ATBS, so I think it is skewed down low because they get more lease operators than they would if they just marketed themselves on the open market. I agree with you. But it skews it low, and that doesn't help things. But some of those have to be owner operators as well that are doing their own taxes, having them do their taxes. Chris used to be an owner operator for Landstar and did good. I think it pays probably better there than a lot of these places that lease and have a flat rate because the loads, when they had a live load board at Matt's, All the loads paid different at Landstar. It was posted. Here's what it pays. It also pays $50 for tolls or whatever was right there on it. That's how it used to be on their live load board because they had one live at the truck show. I thought it was pretty interesting. I drive for a very good milk hauling operation, says K-Dub Milkman. And we're hiring a few over-the-road drivers out of Indiana. Oh, that's awesome. Are you at Fair Oaks? Right, because that's the one I know of, although there's tons of them all over the place. Been with the company 1.5 years, and that was the first. I'm treated well, and dispatcher already said he'd get me layover for both days. All right. That's what they should do. And look, and that exactly right there. That's how a company keeps drivers. For a little bit of money, for a few $100s, they keep a driver. You sit at people for a few days, and suddenly they're looking for a driver for that truck. That is exactly what the company should do. Exactly. And then you don't leave. But you start going 3-4 days without getting paid, and you're like, I got to be out of here. Companies don't understand these little investments in drivers pay off way, way big later. Michael, worked for a company paying $10.99 for a year. Your tax bill was $15,000 and $3,000 state and only made 48 cents. Right. That totally wasn't worth it, right? Not just from the fact that you didn't have any workman's comp coverage and all that. It probably turned out not to be worth any more money than you would have just being a company driver at a regular place. Oh, what's going on? Hey, it's good to see you here today. Thanks for coming in on Labor Day. Comfortable man, I know 4 owner-operators doing over $300,000 a year, and they're fooling around, and that's taking into consideration rates being down. Rates are up, as we know. I don't have the rates this week. Truck tonnage is up, let's put it that way, 6.6%, according to DAT Load Board. But right, look, I'm saying there are owner-operators that make money, no problem. But then there are some owner-operators that don't make money, apparently. These lease operators, if you're making, let's say it like this. If you're a lease operator and you're netting 66 cents to you, you might as well go drive a company truck. Isn't it 66 cents to own the truck and be gone? Forget that. Ezekiel likes driving. Good. A lot of people don't, and they come to drive. It's crazy. Stay driving. If you love it, do it. Do what you love to do, and you'll be really good at it. K-Dub Milkman, Moo Juice Express is who I drive for. You would recommend it. I never heard of that. Where the heck in Indiana is the Moo Juice? There has got to be a sign that says Moo Juice Express on it. Don't tell me you have a shirt or something. I was hauling, Chris, I was hauling almost strictly military. Oh, okay. But I got my own step deck. I was getting $1.50 to $4 a mile, and way back 10 years ago. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? That would have been really good money then, right? That's $300 gross. Yeah, you still netted way more than a company driver though. Grossing $300 grand. Todd Schuster, 450 drivers, insurance is $70 a week. Took biometric, cut in half. What is a biometric? Took biometric, cut it in half. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of robot-y, right? What do I think about company appointments? Do they track you on the app? Yeah, I don't allow companies to install apps on my phone. So if they want to install an app on my phone, they can give me a phone to install it on, but that's my phone. So they don't do anything in my phone. That's what I think about that. And I would say you shouldn't do that either. And don't let them say, oh, we give you $20 a month. No. You give me a phone. You can put it on. You can give me a tablet that's in the truck, whatever. Don't let them install stuff on your phone. Of course, they're going to track you. Then who knows what they're doing in your phone? All of our information, not just me, right? Everybody's information is in our phone. Don't let the company have access to that. Who knows what they do with it? What if the company gets hacked and then they get into your phone? Backwoods, awesome to see this live woods today and a wonderful holiday 3-day weekend. Isn't it great? Are you getting paid? Let's put that back out there. I'm doing a small poll for people that might have come in. Are you being paid for Labor Day, or are you not being paid holiday pay for Labor Day? Not your regular pay, extra pay for the holiday. KW Milkman, south of Fort Wayne, really? The Moo Juice Express. That is awesome. That's true, but they're still dragging well over 150. Yeah, comfortable man. If they're making 300 grand, that's more like it. But this 66 cents, that's pretty horrible. What about a company that wants to do training for free after being paid, after being there for almost a year? Do training for free. What do you mean, like video training? They make you go with somebody? What are you talking about? And nothing should be done for free to company. Firefighters are on 24 off 48. That could work for drivers. Oh, that'd be interesting. Savage Cowboy wants a Moo Juice. Yeah, you ought to open a store up that sells Moo Juice shirts. I mean, that sounds great. They were lucky the trucks didn't spend much time in the shop for major repairs. That's true. That's the other side of being an owner-operator. Your truck is down, you don't get paid anything. My truck is down, I get immediate breakdown pay, and if it takes too long, they'll give me another truck to drive. So, but that's the risk you take, right? What do I know about Young Transport out of California? Nothing. I never even heard of it, to be honest with you. TJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods is here. What's happening? K-Dub Milkman, you have to be an employee to get the Mood Juice shirt. Look, I'll tell you this, it's almost worth working there just to get that shirt. Work for the U.S. government, off and paid. That's true. A lot of companies pay holidays. I mean, we've got 75-25 here on this now, as I'm asking everybody. So a lot of drivers are also getting paid. That's nice for today. I was thinking it wouldn't be that many, but it is good that it is. While Bill Anderson is here, thanks for coming in. K. Wayne says we should have a Blue Parrot break, right? And I totally agree. Always get a Blue Parrot, right, to keep you legal on the road. And as I always say, even though it's a holiday, GP Transco's off today, but you can work at GP Transco, and I do recommend GP Transco. I just love the place over there, okay? So wherever you're going to go to GP Transco. How about that? That's pretty good. I just made that up. And, of course, check out Jay at Auto Transport Intel. He's live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time. Right here on YouTube, get you into car hauling, and they have CTS business coaching going on over there. So that is what is happening. And, of course, we also take a cat break. You always need a cat break. Ooh, let's get this, too. I'm an OIDA member. You should be an OIDA member. That's my member number. Join OIDA. They're still the biggest group fighting for us. Okay, they're at least against the ATA a little bit. It's the best we've got right now. Join OIDA. How about that? Well, that's almost like a commercial. James Faust, I wish I got paid for all that. Retired, so I guess I'm getting paid for the holiday. All right, that's fair enough. Put you down in the paid/retired column. Michael, would you, let's ask you this. Did you get paid any holidays when you were working? James Faust, maybe so, but they're not even working. December through March, they sit at home. Some people do. CR says breakdown pay after 24 hours. Right. See, I don't tolerate that. I get paid immediately as soon as I call them. That's how they work it here. As soon as they're notified of a breakdown, you start getting paid. And then as soon as either the mechanic or whoever they call a service out verifies the truck is back on the road, that's when you stop getting paid. And that's how it should be. That's breakdown. That's legit breakdown pay. Not waiting. Why should I wait 24 hours for them to fix my truck? That's a day I don't get paid. See, I don't do that. That's not something I'm willing to do. Christopher, today is $150 extra because it's a holiday. Good. We're going to put you down as paid. That's great. Extra pay on a holiday. That's what it should be. And I'm surprised we're 80-20 now. 80-20 on drivers getting paid for holidays. All right. William Carey, how about Kiwi Transport? I don't know, but it does sound delicious. We'll say that. K-Dub could hook me up with a hat. Right, I appreciate that. Look, if you want and you think it's a great place, have them write me an email, and we'll talk. We'll put them on the channel if it's good, and we'll get a hat on here. How fast does JP Transport trucks go? I don't know. Savage Cowboy, right. Oh, exactly. I was an owner-op for 1 year. My truck was in the shop once a week. Cost you $75 in repairs at a dealer and grossed $210. Oh. Plus your reefer needed $5,000 repairs. How does it cost? What kind of, okay, look, I'm not an owner-operator, okay? So what kind of repair costs $75,000? I mean, you can buy a truck for half of that, right? I don't know. USX for you. Comfortable man. Who them guys working for exactly? Got fired for refusing what? Sounds like a bad year for you. Yeah, I mean, what kind of repair is $75,000? What an engine rebuild is not anywhere near that, right? Oh, Wild Bill got paid for the holiday. That's correct. Right. If you stick your hand in the time machine, maybe they would pay you. What's your opinion on Open Roads Legal Group? Well, I did a video about different legal plans, and I think drivers should have a legal plan, that solves their problems. I have one at work. A lot of companies also offer it as a work benefit. Get it. Get a plan because you can get a ticket. This way you can fight every ticket. I don't remember on what the Open Roads thing was I did a video on like 4 or 5 different plans. It depends what you want. My plan at work covers legal services. So tickets, wills, anything like that. It covers all that stuff. If you want a shorter plan, it just depends. The OIDA has a legal plan also. I should get I'm going to call them. I need to get a commission. But OIDA has a legal plan also for members. So Get some kind of legal plan to protect you. That license, that's your ticket to making money. So that has absolutely got to be protected. Lonnie has no holiday pay because you're moving companies. Well, put you down in the no pay and the no play. Hey, if you get a raise, it's like you got holiday pay, right? Your poll is skewed because most that have to work don't even have one extra minute for the poll. I know it's not. Okay, let's say this, Thomas. It is not a scientific poll. It is just the people that are available here on the channel to talk. I agree with you. Right. Sadly, most drivers that have to work don't get paid. I agree. What do you think about National Cares out of Liberal? I think it's a meaty place to work. Ha! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said it right. Crete has no holiday pay. That's what somebody else said too. No holiday pay, Crete. What is going on over there, Crete? The hours of service are suspended also if you're bringing stuff into the South. HVH, what do you think about this too? I said this on Sunday. I put this out there because some of the drivers at HVH that sell loads being contacted by brokers and said, hey, we want your deal. We want your load delivered. So what do you think about negotiating with the C.H. Robinson and saying, all right, $3 a mile and get that money in advance, right? Always get the money up front because you already been hosed out of the HVH pay. So I think it's worth negotiating with them to deliver the load that you have on your truck already. You're in the best position to deliver it. So I would say, I said negotiate with them, get your money up front and go deliver the load. I think that would have been worth it. Then there's your pay to get home too. Vamp is here. Heidi ho, what's going on? Cash is King Trucking. You're getting 2.5 times pay for tonight. That's nice. You're hoping there's detention on tonight's load. You get tons of money to sit there. And see, here's the thing. You got that job. That means they were hiring. Okay, so they're hiring. You got the job. So there are people that are going to sit for days and not make any money. And then there are jobs that go wanting for drivers where you can get paid for all of your time. And great pay too. That's the thing of it. Backwoods, what's my opinion about Prime and Martin? Look, I love Martin. I've had him on the show. I like the immediate detention, automatic detention and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of Prime. They get drivers started out a lot. They will boot you out. I got tons of letters of people that if you get there and they find something on you, they boot you. But they're also big on this leasing at like $1,200 a week for their trucks, which is crazy. That's what they want you to do. They want you to either train or lease. So I'm not as big on Prime as I would be on Martin. Savage, you'll make your own shirts and there'll be other things on it. Forget the shirts and hats. Prime, Orion doesn't like Prime, but likes Martin. I thought at Crete had 6 holiday pay, says Trucker. Maybe not. Maybe they don't include Labor Day. How's it going? The heady trucker up in New Jersey. I hope they send me back down south. Not today. You don't want to go down south today. There's no fuel or anything down there. Michael, the repairs were wiring related. 2 rear end suspension, front end. I mean, that's a whole truck. $75,000. I mean, do you have to get a loan for that? That's an entire truck. TJ Jones and the Bull of the Woods is under dispatch, getting paid home time, no pay, no holiday pay. Oh, you're in the no column. That's not good. Edward gets pulls for containers for GIS, and we do not get holiday pay. What the heck? Hey, there's more people would know now. Now we're coming back to 60-40. What's going on? It says 80, but feels like 100. Yeah, where you are sitting, right. K-Dub Milkman. We also have yoga pants. Oh, do they have logoed yoga pants that say Moo Juice on them? Yikes. Cash is King. You've heard Martin has sliding pay scale and lots of shorter runs. They do. Martin has a sliding pay scale, so the shorter you run, the more it pays per mile, and that is true. Ezekiel, private fleets are the way to go. I do put a lot of private fleets on here. You always know where you're going. General freight on the road is always the hardest way to make money. You never know what you're going to do. A private fleet like the Napa fleet out of Indianapolis, they run the drivers out and then they come back to Napa. So something like that would absolutely be the way to go, I think. Be better than general freight. General freight would be the worst way to do it. At least the most difficult way to make a decent living. If nothing else, get on a company, then get on a dedicated run where you're dedicated to a customer and then you know what you're doing all the time. UFOs, no joke. Finally, you're not working for the live feed. Great. It's good to see you here today. Cash is King Trucking. Truckers in yoga pants. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking about that, especially if it says Moo Juice on it. Moo Juice Trucking. Yes. I'm sure 75,000 was not all at once, but during the whole year, that's still a whole lot of repairs. I mean, that's $6,000 a month in repairs. I mean, that's crazy money, right? Really? We're still paying on it, and the owner didn't want to trade it for a better one. I mean, it seems like to me, not being an owner-operator, it's impossible to make money if you're paying $6,000 a month in truck repairs. That's what it seems like to me. How much you have to gross a month to make any money then? Chris is in Miami, just a little rain and a light breeze. Yeah, I guess it's going to move farther up the coast. Hurricane Dorian not going to go across the state like they thought it was going to. The heady trucker, actually, I think they're sending you to Texas. No fuel. I thought that was Florida. Yeah, Florida, Georgia, right. Florida, Georgia, up the coast. All I'm saying is that as this storm moves up, they stop fuel deliveries and stuff, and all the places run out of fuel. So if you're going there, fill up, before you go down in the area. James says BRT pays all on duty time plus 35 per diem in addition to pay. Good. I mean, all of your time is paid plus per diem pay plus pay. Exactly. So do you have a problem getting drivers? Not as much as other companies where you could sit for days. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, to sit and not make any money. That's what I said in my other video where, I went a little long on it, but you really have to decide. You just have to decide for yourself. Look, I'm going to get paid for my time. That's why, I work here and they pay you for immediate detention. That's part of the deal. They're like, okay, I'm in. I don't sit a day and wait for detention time, and you shouldn't either. But the only reason people sit either for a weekend or for a day without getting paid is because they choose to. Because here we have people getting jobs that pay really good, and they still can't get drivers there. George Wilson, what do I think about the same-day justice rolling courtrooms in a 53-foot trailer with the judge on board? Really? Where's that going on? Same-day justice sounds like a TV show that would be on in the afternoons. James is working with no extra pay. That isn't any good. Yikes. K-Dub, I'll get some pictures. Yeah, with you in your boots. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Right. Comfortable man, you're not an owner-operator, lease operator. Okay, well, that's not even any better. $75,000. I cannot imagine having a lease payment and paying $75,000 in repairs. And then there's no way you made a lot of money, I got to imagine. Only office that creeps get holiday pay. Look, every company, everybody out here probably that's not getting paid, the office people in your company, they're getting paid. Just so you know that. So there's no reason they can't pay you. They just don't want to. So as long as I get the hat, the picture will be good enough. We have a lot of female office employees, and they were also drivers' wives, not the men. Yeah. Do you have 7XL yoga pants? Yikes. $75,000 in repairs was all AC related. Yeah, for you, right? Holy mackerel. That thing would work for a day. You got to be so glad you're in a truck that's got air conditioning. Backwoods Northwest. Thanks for the feedback, Mark. Why do prime drivers glorify being there then? There has to be money in doing their lease game, but then I don't know. Well, Backwoods, here's the thing. What Prime does, they encourage you to lease a truck and become a trainer. And so, yeah, then you can make money there at Prime. It is true. It's not like lease drivers don't make any money. But solo lease drivers, especially if they're paying $1,000, $1,200 a week in that truck, there's no way they're taking any kind of time off. They certainly don't get paid for the holidays. Prime just transfers all that onto you as the lease operator. And, it isn't any kind of deal. You're gone all the time to pay for the truck. If you train, then you get double the miles, basically, or way more miles. Then, yeah, you can make a living doing it. But you're doing it to pay for the truck and to make money. You're not training because you want to train people. Oh, I want to train people. I want to make the industry. You're like, I got to pay for this truck. Why do people glorify it? They have to. They're in this truck. They're like, man, this has got to be the greatest thing ever. They got to just talk, give themselves their positive talk. I assume on their mirrors they have all these, yellow stickers or whatever, Post-it notes that say, you're the best. You can do it. They got the cat that hangs off a wire. Hang in there, man. That kind of thing. That's probably what they have in the office there at Prime too. Paying $1,200 a week for a truck, and that's their payment. Okay, it's crazy. You cannot have any time off. They're not off today. They're working. If they're taking the day off, they don't get any money. And and then you come in and you're already a day short on your week. No way. Roger Penske needs to get away from the Korean mafia. They've gone unethical. No, the mafia has gone unethical? They keep hiring drivers and can't keep us busy. I've had 17 of 36 weeks short of a full week. Why do companies do that? They have not enough freight, and so then they need more people. It doesn't make any sense. They know everybody quits, and every driver that they hire costs them money because they have to pay workman's comp and all that stuff on every driver. I never understood that. Michael, that was during the whole year that put a bad taste in your mouth, I bet. For owner-operator, ever since you ain't worried about getting sick. Exactly. Look, what if you get sick and you have a $1,200 a week payment? You're going to drive. If your wife is sick, you got to drive. What if you need to take 2 weeks off for whatever happened at home? You come in and you're $2,400 in the hole. Forget it. That kind of thing, to me, no thanks. I don't want that kind of risk in my life. Some people do it and love it. Not for me. TJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods. FedEx contractor out of your town running solo, $494 a night. Nice. $270 a day, home daily, off weekends, paid time off and health insurance. Deal or no deal, why are you not there? You should be there. I mean, absolutely. I mean, what's wrong with that job? There are drivers on the road that make half of that money. The heady trucker, I'd rather not go to Florida till after the hurricane blows through. Oh, maybe to blow the scales over. All the scales would be closed. Roger Penske, I just spent Labor Day weekend in a truck stop in Ehrenberg, Arizona. Korean Mafia wouldn't pay to fix something, would rather have you sit and wait. That doesn't make any sense either, unless they don't have to pay you there. Yeah, what's up with you're going to have to get one of the other mafias, the Vietnamese mafia, to go after the Korean mafia out there. Michael, you brought home $25,000 after expenses. That's the thing. So that wasn't probably a great deal. Do all leases end like that? Not really, but I mean, holy mackerel, right? That's $25,000 is no money. That's what, $12 an hour. 40-hour week job is $25,000. Comfortable man, if you don't control the truck and where it goes and doesn't go, then you're not an owner-operator. Yeah, I kind of agree. You're not making the full amount of money being brought to the truck. I think you make the most if you have your own authority, certainly. But never get the truck, as we said from HVH. These drivers that were lease operators, that was the other thing. HVH leased trucks to drivers. Okay, and they closed this week, as we know. Penske and Ryder came out and said, all right, we want our trucks back because HVH leased the trucks from them. So say you put $50,000 in your lease truck. You didn't put it in your lease truck. You put it in their lease truck. And that truck had to go back to Penske and Ryder, and presumably you lost all or most of your money. Now, can you work something out with the Ryder or Penske? Maybe. I'd certainly talk to them about it, but they don't owe you anything and they don't have a deal with you. That's the real problem. Never lease from the carrier. At least if you're going to lease, which I don't like anyway, go get it outside yourself. Savage Cowboy, yeah. 7X yoga pants, exactly. You want to see those things bebopping in with flip-flops on? Cash is King Truck, and I've been running AC on Max just because you can. You just turn on, oh, isn't this so great? And it just turns on and off. It's just the most wonderful thing. Anyone coming up to Columbus on 71 is backed up from the 128 to the 120 today. What is going on today? Lonnie, the Post-it notes. You can do it. You got it. You're the best. Backwards. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about that. At that kind of payment, they just force you into training. And so the drivers, and really some of them have to do that. And a lot of the drivers have their own YouTube channel over there at Prime. And what do they say? Hey, here's my recruiting number. Why? Because they get a recruiting bonus. Whether they like the place or not, they recruit for it. And they get that bonus. Then it helps them pay their truck payment. Prime may even have a class on how to do that. For all I know, there's so many of them. Because there's a lot of Prime as opposed to a lot of other companies. I don't know. Cash is King Trucking. A lot of Prime lease guys glorified because they don't know any better and they think they're working for Amazon. They go, I'm a Prime driver. You're a Prime. They write that on their Post-it note too. Don't forget the frog choking the bird. Oh, right. Never give up. I forgot about that one. If you want to work as a lease operator, then you should lease your truck from a third party, not the company. Comfortable man, exactly. If you must lease a truck, go lease the truck yourself. Then look, if you had leased this truck from Lone Mountain or whatever these other leasing places that I've heard some about, and HVH closed, that's your truck. All you do is put it on somewhere else. You continue to work. You don't take the truck back to Ryder or Penske and lose all your money that you put into it, if that's something you want to do. I still think you should buy the truck yourself, but geez, lease it outside of a carrier. Never Don't get, this thing from this hand over here that can take the money out of your hand. Don't do that. You're putting too much power in one place. Michael, plus $700 a week for the payment. Well, that's less than some. But when I was home, you didn't worry about the truck breaking down. That's true. When it's off, it doesn't break down. Okay, here's another one. MG, my company pays a bonus for holidays worked. So you're in the worked pay program. That's column 3. That's better than nothing. Cash is King says, deal, right? That beats most over-the-road jobs. That's what I'm saying. That sounds really good. FedEx, always good on these pays. Comfortable man, your truck payments would be half, and they would be going through the company you'll be driving for. Exactly. It's usually less money, too. So it's the other thing is it costs less, but you control that asset. That's your truck. That's your truck. Trucker Hershey, they bought too many trucks. They don't care about the driver's pay. Got to make those truck payments. Yeah. So they roll the trucks. They don't care. If some truck makes 1,400 miles, at least it covers all the expenses of the truck. And, hey, they can replace you, so they don't care. Yeah. That's not a great way to run a business. I mean, because then that company then complains probably, oh, there's a huge driver shortage. What are we going to do about that? Have any info on AD Transport out of Canton? They have nice silver trucks. All right, let's see what people think about that. Vamp, the Florida scales are closed and the toll roads have been suspended. Oh, nice. All right, time to head down to Disney World. Roger Penske going to call it's probably only one way. They probably only sun pass it one way. Roger Penske going to call the Polish Mafia. Oh, my wife is Polish. Maybe we can get in on that. Nick the Bosnian. I worked for them a while back. I got my per diem back because he'll classify me as a 1099. Oh, all right. I'll see if my wife knows anything about that. The heady trucker over the owner operator seems like it could be rewarding, but feel like I'd have a heart attack by 30. Well, look, it can be rewarding, right? It can be nerve-wracking also, and you lose all the benefits of a company driver. I'm on the company driver side of it, okay? There's plenty of people out here, owner operators, that love it, do it their whole lives. I'm on the company side of it where I say, look, I don't want all that risk. I want to be off on Labor Day. I want a paid vacation. I want cheap health insurance. I want all those things. And so for me, company driver works out for me. You got to decide what's going to work out for you. Maybe you're like, hey, I'll take the risk and I'll make more money. And maybe that works for you. It doesn't work for me. I don't want to have an old truck and, every few years I get a new truck. All those are nice things that you get at a company that you can't get as an owner operator. But for you, you might say, hey, Mark, I don't care about all that. I want to be the open road, and I'm going to be party, business in the front and party in the back. And that's okay too. At Smith Transport, we are employee owned. I got a 389 and just rolled 100,000. Not bad. I'm happy. Probably going to get a new one in 2 years when the last set of 389 comes out from Peterbilt. All right. Is that a stick shift in yours? I didn't get it. Roger Penske didn't get a dime. I'm surprised. Wouldn't pay to have a service reload an over axle wait. Had to wait for someone to come out from Phoenix with another trailer. These companies, they don't, and then drivers leave. And they're like, how come drivers are leaving? Oh, because we had them sit for 2 days. Right. It doesn't make any sense. Michael Muller, my AC and my Pete works great. In the truck, it shows 110 and 65 in the bunk. Yeah. You keep the things closed and you are all set. Vamp is leaving Florida now. Lucky you didn't get stuck. Good, you're out of there. Never to go back, at least not for a little while. Comfortable man, never lease a truck from the company you're driving for. Exactly. Go lease or buy a truck outside of a carrier. And then you control that asset. When HVH or your carrier closes, you take your truck and leave. Okay, when these drivers, some of them, which had their truck through HVH, which then had it from Penske or Ryder, they had to take the truck back to Ryder or Penske. And some drivers I saw saying, oh, no, I'm going to make them write me a check for all my payments. That's not how it works. Okay, they don't owe you a check for your payments because you don't have a deal with the truck renting company. You have a deal with HVH. And if you don't give the truck back, they're going to come and get it from you. So that is a real problem. I'd certainly call them and say, what can we work out? You're much better off having leased it from outside of the carrier. HVH had 200 lease trucks. All right, so all those people lost their jobs in equity. That's the problem. I doubt these people get maintenance escrow. Oh, yeah, that's gone. All that maintenance and all that. I don't even know if everybody got paid on Friday. They said people were going to get paid, but I don't even know if people got paid a couple days ago. There's a couple guys that have old JR Transport trucks leased to HVH. I'm guessing they own them. Sam. Yeah, so at least that's their truck. So they can just peel the stickers off and go to the next company. At least it's their truck, right? Michael Muller it is, and the company puts a light kit on the 389, and we're allowed to have the company shop put additional lights on the truck if safety approves. Yeah, some of the guys there, you almost think it's an owner-operator truck because they put a little money into lights, and hey, that's our, you want to put lights on, and you like that truck, that's all right with me, right? The heady trucker, business in the front, party in the back. Oh, yeah, look, you got that truck, you're party in the back, absolutely. Oh, James Faust, I bet Party Row in Ontario is busy this weekend, right? Oh, yeah. But which one? Which one? That's always the thing. One of them, I don't remember now. I haven't been out there in a while. One of them had 10 more showers than the other one, and that's the one I would go to. I can't remember which it was, East or West, TA. One had the 10 extra showers. One had 35 showers. One had 25 showers. I remember that. I would always go to the one with 35 because you could get a shower at that one. Because the other one, the showers were busier, so I don't remember which is which. Cash is King finds trucking is less stressful when the truck doesn't have a sleeper. It gives the company incentive to get you home by the end of the day. They do have incentive. And it's probably like here where they'll either get you or put you in a hotel. That's what they do here. But it's less, I find trucking less stressful when I have to make the truck payment. That's for me. Because, and I come down and I had a blowout. I put that on my Instagram, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now. Was it stressful? It was a little stressful, but not super stressful because while I waited there to get it fixed, they paid me. Okay, because I was only a mile from the place I was going and they have a shop. So I thought, all right, I'll just go over here. I brought it in there. They had mounted tires already. He goes, I got one of those already. So they put a tire on, but guess what? I got paid for it. And while I waited there, it didn't take them that long. That's not that stressful when you got to own the truck or whatever. So yeah, I agree. And for other people that want to be an owner operator, that's great, but it isn't for me. And to reduce your stress, boy, that's one way to do it. You don't have to pay for anything. Michael, okay, yours is an auto shift. I know they have some sticks there, right? I don't mind. Look, I don't mind it either. With the front end collision sensor, I don't worry about breaking something. The truck locks up, the brakes will engage the clutch. Yeah, look, I know that they over there they have like a mix of trucks though, so I just wondered what you have. I'm a fan of automatics too. I'll drive whatever the company has. Automatic, manual's fine with me. I don't mind driving the automatics. When we first transitioned over, I don't know, a few years ago, we started getting them in. Drivers were like, I'm going to quit or whatever. Nobody quit. Everybody drives the truck still. So, and the drivers that we're talking to are like, oh, this isn't so bad. Exactly. Right. It isn't so bad. I'm like, dude, you drive an automatic to work? Oh, well, that's different. I go, not really. Michael, we have a driver at Smith. He has $7,000 of chrome and lights on his truck, but's retiring and wanted one nice truck. Oh, that's a good question. What do they do with your lights if you quit or retire? Will they take them off for you? What happens? Or say you just turn that truck in and you're getting another truck. Will they transfer them over? What happens to the lights? I'm not the biggest fan of automatics. I feel a 10-speed is way more smooth and gets some mountains. Look, if I was going to have a stick, Teddy trucker, I think I'm in for 13-speed rather than a 10. So if you want a stick, I'm in for a 13-speed. Would be better. I haven't seen one in a while. But I think that'd be the way to do it. Roger Penske delivered batteries to Prescott for a gorgeous 10-passenger all-electric airplane. Replaced the jet service 2 times to Denver and 1 time to LAX. It can't. All-electric airplane? A Tesla only goes 200 and some miles on a charge. I mean, an electric airplane? The heady trucker likes watching those chicken lights roll down the highway. Look, some of those trucks are really nice. James Faust says the Super 10. Oh, I think you meant to say the 10-speed. The Super 10, not so super. Yeah, not the Super 10. For people that don't know, new drivers, there used to be this transmission which was like horrible, called the Super 10. You only went through the pattern one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. Each one was basically high and low of each gear there. So is sort of how I would say it. And it was supposed to revolutionize trucking, and it did. It revolutionized trucking to like the worst part of trucking. Horrible. Just horrible. Trucker Hershey likes a 12-speed automatic. That's what we have here. It works okay. Okay, so Mike, I was wondering about that. So they transfer the lights to the next truck. All right. That's pretty good. Never drove a 13. Always wanted to, though. 18 terrifies you. I think 18, which I've had 18s over the years. I think that's too much unless you're pulling overweight loads. I don't think you need that many low splits on the gears. But the 13 to split the high 4, I think was really good on the road. Helps for mountains and stuff like that. So I'm in for a 13 speed. 18, if I had overweight loads, then I guess I would go say, all right, 18 speed. Otherwise, you don't do them anyway. So I don't think it's worth it. Comfortable man like the Super 10s too. That's 2 of you. That's 2 out of 1.5 million. Roger, this will go 700 miles at 250 miles an hour on an hour and a half charge. Really? That's kind of scary. I hate the Super 10, says Michael Muller. I have never seen an electric plane. That's kind of weird looking. Cash is king. Nothing really super about it. Hey, you go through those gears one time, it will revolutionize trucking. Remember when that came out? They're like, this will revolutionize trucking. And then it's like, this is the most horrible transmission ever. K-Dub Milkman, you have an 18-speed? Wow, but you'd trade for a Super 10 in a heartbeat? Do they do that so that you don't have such a big step in between the gears because of smooth boring it? I wonder if they do that, if that's why they do it there. So, okay, the out of service, I wanted to put this out there too. The out of service vehicle rate for the check that they did a couple months ago. I thought this was really interesting. For vehicles, 28% of the vehicles were put out of service because of brakes. And 19.3% because of tires. And then brake adjustment is another 17%, and cargo securement 12%. All cargo has to be secured. That's what I wanted to get to that. All cargo, including in a van, you need to strap it or load lock it. It's got to be secured in there. Otherwise, it's a cargo securement fail, basically, okay? So, and why were drivers put out of service? 37.2% were over their hours. 37% of drivers that they stopped. Crazy. 22% had the wrong class of license. What the heck? I assume they didn't explain what that means. I assume that means you may not have had an endorsement for whatever you were pulling. And then 14% had false logs. Why are we falsifying our logs? 37.2% are over hours. Stop driving over hours. You can't do that stuff. All I know is the owner op's going up mountain speed by me every time. Never fails. Yeah, they're probably in a 13 speed at least, and they usually have more power. So an owner operator is going to crank that thing up. Battery-powered airplane went over like lead balloon. Yeah, would you get in an airplane that is battery-powered that is going to take you where you're going? I don't know about that. What if you have a delay at the airport? Oh, go ahead and circle around. And the pilot's like, I don't think so. He goes, we only got 1 bar left. And what happens if you have to re-land? Do you have to jettison the batteries before you land, just like a jet does where they have to dump all their fuel? Oh, we got to dump all of our acid. We got a terminal Ellenwood, Georgia, right? Smith is on this side of the country, basically. New Israeli plane cache. Is it really? I've never seen it. James Faust, how hard is it to adjust your brakes? I know, right? Especially when you know they're doing checks, right? This is safety week. And then, so what do we have? We've got 17% are brake adjustment errors. I mean, come on. Come on, people. You can't be doing that. And 28% are brake errors. You go when you're down there adjusting them, you should be looking at them. No pay today or any other holiday. You're in the no pay. We're still over 50% did get paid of this non-scientific survey. Michael Muller says Smith flies you to orientation, and you get a room to yourself, which is what they should do, and they feed you, and they pay you. That's that's very good. So Smith also recommended, certainly. The heady trucker, my automatic doesn't get as good a gas mileage as the 10-speed. Really? Now, I do get better mileage. I'm guessing it's less about feeling, more about having to replace the clutch. They said that the automatics cut down on clutch replacements, and my automatic does very good because other than at lights, it shifts either really early or really late. I can't decide, but it's doing really good, like 9. So not bad. KW, we do it partly for the surge. That's what I thought. You try to set it 600 for when you're loaded at 90,000. We get 10% overweight. Oh, because of the food product. That's interesting. So you can step it easy using all those gears. That's really something. How many people come to work there or go to work there and then can't drive the truck? I mean, how many people have to be taught how to drive that? Because not a lot of people, especially the newer you are, I think the less likely you are to have seen an 18-speed unless you grew up on a farm or, or a cattle farm or something like that. James Faust, half-inch wrench, 10 minutes. Exactly. So there's really these kind of violations where you're getting an out of service. These are out of services that people were given. You don't want an out of service when something you can do in just a few minutes, which you should be checking at least every once in a while, every day. You don't have to be down there every single day on a pre-trip. I'm not like that. But certainly before brake safety week, maybe you want to go check your brakes. Maybe. I don't know. Alani, these drivers are brave and stupid being putting out of service for those reasons. Yeah, come on. It's brake safety week. Oh, I don't need to check anything. Hey, get down there and check it one time. Okay, one time. K-Dub, you have a 20,000-pound front axle with giant floaters. Oh, sweet. Plus 600 horse and an 18-speed. You're almost like an owner-operator there. Make you open the doors on one that is sealed to check if load strap. They could. Trucker Hershey, they can say to open the doors. DOT and officers, right? Anybody that has you open the door, make them sign your paperwork, and they'll put their own seal on it. They have a state police or DOT seal, an official seal. They'll reseal the load, and they sign your bills. Open by, and you get their badge number and all that, and they sign that on there. So, yeah, they can open that up, and they'll reseal it for you. Tell them, hey, this is sealed. I need to seal. They do it. They reseal it. Yep. Todd came back on the road after 5 years local in Chicago. Wife became old and mean, and now you're both happier. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Whatever works for you, I guess. 37% of drivers wondering why ELD is beeping. Yeah, what's that noise? Why is that red? Is that crazy to be out of 37.2% of drivers are over hours at the scale? You know this is the week they're checking. You're over hours, and you're like, I'm just going to run the scale. Come on. Trucker Hershey, your auto does get better miles than standard because it never misses a shift or anything, right? Ryan hasn't touched an automatic in 3 years. How about your car? I always ask people about that. Cash is King, the 12-speed and the new 579P is smooth. Who makes that? Is that an Eaton? That's what I've got over here. K-Dub, they actually trained me when you were 18. Wow. But we don't anymore from all the idiots we get, but most people can drive them. Fine. Oh, so you're bringing in experienced people already. All right. So most people can do it. Our 13-speed ended up not being able to be driven by like half the drivers. Your 389 is a 13-speed automatic. Who makes a 13-speed automatic? Oh, they paid for your CDL and everything. Oh, and you ended up at a pretty good place. How do you load lock a tanker? That's those load locks that have the rings on them. You've seen those? They've got the rings. Those are tanker load locks because those fit perfectly right in the round part of it. They go right down in there. Absolutely. And you should load lock it before they load it because they have problems in there. Is anybody else going in on the Labor Day poll? Are you paid or unpaid? And what do we think? I didn't ask this for a little bit. What do we think about this driver? 76 years old, killed by steel beams. Steel beams that went through his tractor. He hit his brakes and the beam slid forward and killed him. Is he too old to drive? Is 76 too old? Should there be a test? Or maybe what we've considered here, should there be a flatbed test for people where you need to do a strength test and a few other things to do flatbeds? Because if you don't tighten it down enough, it's going to slide forward into you. And the police did say that this driver did an emergency stop, and that's why it all slid forward and ended up killing him at 76 years old, which is, of course, not great. But should there be a special strength test? Now, some of these companies do strength tests even if you're running a van or whatever and never do anything. And I think they should only test you for stuff you need. But should there be a strength test to run a flatbed? Michael says your 13 speeds and eat. And GT40 is paid. We're going to put you down as paid for the day. That's great. Labor Day pay. Love it. The heady trucker, I don't know, just like the manuals, helps you stay alert, which the industry wouldn't have shied away from them. They only shy away from them to save money. Of course, that's why they do everything. They don't have to replace clutches hardly ever. And they said some of them last the whole life of the truck. They get better fuel mileage, and they get to control them. Okay, because the company can change the settings on the trucks. Some of our trucks do not have a manual mode on them. The manual mode is disabled because the company disables it. And so they get to control how the truck shifts and all that stuff. They don't get to control that if you're the one driving the truck, right? But the company gets to control it and they save money. It's all about saving them money. That's how companies are. And I guess that's not bad. That's what they're supposed to do. Tried installing load locks in the tanker once and nearly died. Oh, you got to do it with the hatch open. Chainsaws open top and then throw a couple in. Just toss it right in there. James Faust, I think the poor guy had no retirement. It would seem like it. But there are people that like to work, too. We got to give him that at 76, right? He may like to work, or he may have had to work. Maybe for whatever reason. Maybe he had some medical condition years ago that cost him all of his retirement. There's that kind of possibility. And so he's like, I got no money. I have to go to work. There's no way to know why he was still working. But is that too old to drive a flatbed with these gigantic I-beams on it that you really have to lock down there, you know? Roger sent pics of the airplane. I'd love to see an electric airplane. Be sure to unplug it before takeoff. Mark, 60, no older, full pension. Cedric is getting paid today. Good. That's 20 people are getting paid today. What's Italian holiday? So we got 20 paid and 11 unpaid, and 4 are only getting paid extra because they're working. So that's where we are in the tally. So that's good. Way better than I thought it would be. Ryan, you have a Mazda 3, 6-speed, and 10-speed international work paid today. All right. So your manuals all the way. And paid. That makes 21 paid people. Michael says he's too old to drive a flatbed, but fine for van or reefer. Does truck have a front-end collision system that may be locked up? Oh, and that's interesting. The police said they didn't know why he hit his brakes. I never thought about that. Did the truck kill him? Oh, that's interesting. Because I guess there wasn't really any traffic there, but you're right. The truck could see a piece of paper, anything, a feather, a cloud, and that's interesting. It could just slam the brakes on. Why didn't why didn't the driver have a headache rack? I think he did on the back of the tractor like normal, but these were as long as the trailer. They looked like they were 40-plus foot long I-beams. I don't know what they weigh, a lot each, 8,000 pounds, maybe more. And they came right through the cab. They showed it piercing the sleeper, went all the way through the cab. They don't show him or anything, but you could see that where it went through, you're finished. At least he died right away. David says there could be a flatbed endorsement. Yeah, that's what we were thinking earlier. What do you think about an endorsement for flatbeds? You take a test, it's a different physical and a different test to get a flatbed endorsement so that you understand coil hauling, you understand, all this kind of stuff. That's not a bad idea. It's not nearly the same as shutting the doors and taking off. The heady trucker knew a guy that was doing yard work at 84. Wow. Could have retired a long time ago, but he didn't want to deal with his wife that much. Why don't people like their wives? Why do you get married to somebody that you don't want to be around or don't like? I don't get it. I don't want to be around my wife that I've married. Roger Penske will have to work till you drop dead or can't work. You went crazy and lost 20 years of my life. Hey, we all went crazy. There's always tomorrow. Hang in there, as the sign said. Comfortable man. Company isn't for me. I don't drive in New England. Well, you can always go to Heartland/Millis. They have the green zone. Remote control trucks that lock you out and need to go to shop more frequently with nothing to do another pay control. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Getting killed at work is less than optimal. It is. But what I'm saying about getting killed at work or anywhere is at least you're dead instantly. You could see these things pierced right through there, right where you're sitting. So, boom, you're dead. That's better than lingering, certainly, I think. Anyhow, Mark is paid for today. 22 paid people for today. Do a lot of companies try to pressure drivers to delay the maintenance that they end up getting busted for by the DOT? Maybe. I don't know how much of that. I mean, this kind of thing that I'm talking about, these out of services like brake adjustments, you can go do that yourself with a wrench. I mean, it's not like it's something that the company has to do. You're welcome to get down there and you can go down there and look at the brakes and see 28% of brakes were no good. So you can just look at that and see. Some of it is probably companies. The other part of that, Brookwood, Bruce, we just got to say, look, this truck's not safe. It's not going anywhere. That we can't drive a vehicle that is unsafe for any reason at all. And then the company has to fix it. And sometimes that may cost you your job or you may be cost loads, but you're not going to kill somebody. Nothing wrong with New England. Where you live may just run Colgate from Cambridge to Lithia Springs. But why does nobody like New England? It pays $50 to go through New York City. Okay, so Smith has like a New York City green zone also. I'm honestly surprised there isn't an endorsement for flatbed. It's more dangerous than tanker. Yeah, exactly it is. Exactly it is. It's way harder. There's way more complicated stuff. It's a lot more mental thought. Some of it is a puzzle when you say, oh, we need all this loaded on your truck. I'm like, well, how the heck are we going to do that? So you got to figure out, sometimes you're the one that figures out where it all goes, how you're going to hold it on there across the country. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Roger Penske, my retirement plan is to walk into a Circle K with a gun and wait for the cop to show up. 3 hots and a cot. Some people do that. So maybe the mafia could help you out on something. Maybe they have some side work you could do. Ryan, as far as I know, you only need an endorsement for coils. Yeah, in some states, right. I believe all other flatbed loads you don't. Would be good, I believe, to have safety course or some sort of state mandated. Well, what about a flatbed endorsement where there's more training and a more comprehensive medical test? We don't know if this 76-year-old driver couldn't do this medically. I don't know. I'm 50 some years away from that age now. So when I'm there, I'll tell you, but I don't know. I know some people get frail as they get older. So it's possible that if it wasn't secured down tight enough is why it moved into the tractor instead of staying on the trailer. We don't know. It's an interesting question to ask to say, all right, at this age, is this okay? And if not, maybe everybody should be tested on flatbed. Maybe. Comfortable Man says there's too many tolls and too much traffic. You can't make time. If your wheels are not rolling, then you're not making money. Trucker Hershey is not being paid today. That's not good. Well, Bill, if the guy chained on his beams, that might be why they slid. They weren't tight enough. I used to have a 5-foot cheater bar. You need a huge bar. And like somebody else said as well, you can't only chain down metal beams. Right? I'd have everything out on that load that he had. James Faustick, you should check your brake adjustment once a day. Why? Well, I don't check my brake adjustment every day. But I certainly think that before a brake check week, you could certainly get under there and do a brake check, check the adjustment on your brakes. People think, though, oh, they have automatic slack adjusters. Obviously, that's not working because, 1 in 3 people are being put out of service for their brakes. Michael, we don't have forced dispatch. You can decline loads. That's another interesting question for you there. How many loads can you decline before they get mad at you? Adam, can't do brake adjustment on disc brake. Oh, got to take off the tires. Nice. Forgot about people that have new trucks. Cedric, you're paid and working, dumping your last load. All right. That's the way to do it. Get paid. Plus, you work if you want to. Backwoods just joined back from Prime driver that was live also. Really? The information I found out was Prime doesn't care if you stay company and they don't push the lease program as much anymore. Well, when you see their drivers, they're almost all lease drivers. And they do encourage you to train and be a lease driver there, certainly. All companies that have these lease programs, they like it. Why? Because you take on the risk that the company has. They're making you take that risk. And if you're paying $1,000, $1,200 a week for your truck, you are not going to make any money if you want to take any kind of time off to spend with your family. But as we're seeing, I guess a lot of people don't like spending time with their wives. So maybe leasing may work for you. My dispatcher ended up leaving me without a load for 2 days because I refused to haul a trailer with a flat tire and a broken spring. That's the thing. Sometimes something happens to us. That place, though, I'd leave. Any place that would do that is probably got other problems, honestly. And it's time to boot, to get going out of there. Lonnie, I'm 4,000 miles past PM on my truck mileage. Companies do keep you running. Well, I think a PM, which is not DOT mandated, presumably, other than the inspection part of it, if they want to do that, I don't know why they do it, but I agree. They're going to eat the maintenance down the road, though. It's their truck, so they eat the maintenance on it. Trucker Hershey, your trailer brakes are self-adjusting. Yeah, a lot of trailers and trucks really have self-adjusters on them. Company has a reasonable expectation for their drivers to move their freight. I think that, I don't know how many you could turn down. James Faust says you don't adjust disc brakes. Pretty soon, that'll be on all the trucks and trailers. Have you seen him on the back of the trailer? This vehicle has disc brakes. Stay back. It stops fast. Backwoods, they pay good, train you well, get you home when you need to, and have good quality trucks too. All right. Prime, there it is. DOT checks disc brakes illegally. Driving my dedicated route tonight plus 8 hours holiday pay. Got to make that paper. Exactly. As long as you're getting paid. Exactly. Not recruiting for them, but they're a decent or good company. Yeah. Look, okay. But some people find, their fortune were at every company. There are people that love every company no matter what about them, certainly. Bill just found out the earth is flat. How could you just find that out? It's obvious. You can look out your door and see that it's flat. Perhaps more strict medical exams and in-cab testing for 67. Well, I think you'd have a problem. How about more strict medical exams for everybody that's going to run a flatbed? I think that'd probably be more likely to pass, certainly. What's a good company to train with that has a terminal near Tampa? Oh, who's down there? Who's down in Tampa, Florida, hiring? Prime doesn't push you to go lease. The low company pay is why my buddy is doing lease. He says it's a way to make more his first year. That's an interesting way to do it. They don't push you, but they don't pay you enough. I thought their pay went up, though, for company drivers. It didn't seem like it was super terrible pay there. Trucker Hershey is at least sitting at home. K-Dub was going to leave for a heavy haul job hauling giant equipment. I stayed for a good raise, but they didn't require any endorsement or experience, which boggled me. Yeah, there's really no endorsement for hauling out, giant equipment or anything. Hopefully they would do some kind of training. Cassius King didn't realize the earth is flat either. Oh yeah, you're listening to public school. That's the problem. You can decline loads if you have a reasonable expectation why, such as not enough time to run it, or you don't want to go to a certain location. Oh, I'd tell them that up front, right? Get me out of New York City. Prime has such bad pay compared to other deals drivers can get these days. They're probably the best paying mega carrier. Yeah, I mean, compared to a lot of places, I've seen their pay starting up in the high 40 range, so not terrible. You're just waiting for a year of experiencing. You're out. Wild Bill, am I working today? And it's a holiday. Wild Bill, we're off today. Adam's score says warranty purposes. That's the other thing. Why don't they do this stuff on time for warranty stuff? But I mean, again, it's their truck, so if they want to run it late, I guess that's their problem. Averitt takes people out of school and has a terminal in Tampa. Not the best, but not the worst company, all right? Rusty Neal had to get your weekly shower every Monday, whether you need it or not. Who do you know for sure it's flat? Obviously, Christina, we can look outside that it's flat. We just look out and I can see it's flat. In Germany, once you hit 50, you need a yearly physical. Oh, to drive? That's pretty good. I'm talking about, should you get a different physical for a flatbed endorsement? That would be part of your endorsement. You have to go get a different physical, a pushing, pulling, strength kind of test to make sure that you can do the job. Night Rider Trucker, late again like every Monday, but I'm here. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Thank you for coming in today. I appreciate it. Jason, if you don't know how to adjust brakes, ask the shop. Yeah, they should, and you should be able, if you're a company driver, you should be able to run your truck into the shop, especially before brake week, and tell them to adjust them if you want to do that, and let them show you how to do it. Dave Johnson, if the earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off of it. Yes, that certainly is the truth. Cats would have pushed everything off if the earth was flat. You'd have nothing left on it. As I do more clickings, there we go. I'm not allowed to deny any loads as a company driver. I can get fired for denying. Yeah, most places have a forced dispatch. For Smith to even allow you to turn any load down, that's better than most company places. You got to give them that. Bill, anyone with experience and live around Wixom, Michigan, 60 cents a hub mile and 35 detention. That's pretty good. A hub mile is very, very unusual. Hello, Knocker. What's going on? It's good to see you. Okay, here's Dylan Transport in Tampa. I knew somebody would know something in Tampa. Michael, to drive, and you should have the strength test once you hit 55. Well, there's a lot of people, though, younger. I mean, if it's going to be a flatbed strength test, let's test everybody so that to make sure that they have the strength necessary to do the job. Comfortable Man, thanks for the show. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. For coming in on Labor Day. Trucker Hershey says you're not allowed to do brake adjustments. Is that a company policy? Well, then they should do them. If you pull it into a shop, especially before brake week, right? I'm sure they would do one, correct? I'm sure. I thought brakes adjusting you back in. Oh, that's one way to do it. Michael Muller, is it 1099? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a 1099 deal here. Not sure about that. Their W-2 at 60 cents on a hub and 35 detention. That's really, really good. That's unusual to see a hub mile because Most companies don't want to do it because they think you're going to put the truck up on jacks, and just run the tires, kind of like Ferris Bueller. I think a lot of carriers are struggling with the pay raise they have to give to keep drivers. It's just a hunch, Gary. Well, look, they're way behind on pay. This is their own fault. They are way behind on pay. And the money that they get on their tariffs is incredible. They charge, people $100 a stop and give you $10. So is YouTube paying me extra on Labor Day? No. The live feeds don't pay me anything, just so people know. People think, oh, you get all that money. They don't, doing these don't pay, anything. And I don't run ads on the live feeds. If you've noticed that, I don't even run ads on these live feeds. You get right into it, and there's never an ad later on the live feed to keep people to get into it, because we're just here to talk, right? To pull flatbed, you should be able to break a 2x4 with your forehead. Wow. You got to Miyagi that thing. If you cannot do this, you cannot run a flatbed. That would be really something. I will say this, Cash is King Trucking, if we could do that, flatbed pay would go way up, because there'd only be 5 people left that could do it. Not allowed to adjust brakes on part of the company. Have to pull teeth. The mechanics. Well, see, now that's the other side. They ought to do it then. If they say don't touch it, then they ought to be the one doing it, right? That should be the deal. George, hello. Thank you for being here today. Hub miles from the ELD. That's pretty good. Look, that's really good. Michael, I always enjoy watching a 100-pound woman trying to close the chain binders or strap a load down. When the cheater bar jumps, they fly over the trailer. I had one, oh my gosh, many years ago. I was strapping that thing down and let go of it, and my cheater bar went flying across the across the whole place. One of the guys way over there drove it back to me on like some kind of forklift or something. Oh, is this yours? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I had to yell 4. I'm like, yo, 4 people are looking around. Incredible. Keep a good hand on that thing. Flatbed is a young man's job, but I did it down there is no future. I don't know. After I fell off the dock a few times after you snapped a chain. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. George, is there a lease program I would recommend? There's no lease program I personally would recommend. There are drivers that do it and stuff. There isn't one that I would recommend. If you want to be an owner-operator, go buy a truck. Certainly never lease a truck from the carrier, or buy it from the carrier for that matter, because you want control of that asset. So at worst case, you go out to one of these places, but I don't like leasing a truck. Go buy a truck that you can afford. And if you say, well, I can't afford a truck, then you're not ready to go in business. Seriously. I mean, you need to have money set aside and stuff. So to do that, you need to have enough money to lease at all. The last load you hauled was $80,000. Got $300 for the trip. It depends how far it is, right? Everyone is speculating on that driver, how he wrecked. Let's get the facts on what really happened. Equipment failure or driver error. We don't know, right? All I'm suggesting is that at 76, is it worth, or flatbeds now? Is it worth having a separate physical for flatbeds? It's an interesting question to ask. We can, ask that. Flatbed requires different strengths. Maybe that should be an endorsement for everybody and a separate test. Gary, stopping the clock for a half to 3 hours is a huge bonus. You deliver and load in the same day most of the time. Sometimes you need an extra hour of drive time. I'm not a fan of any extra time that is unpaid. So when you're going to not pay me for 3 hours, not a huge fan of that at all. I wanted it to go to 12 hours a day. What's one thing I wish I knew when I began driving? Well, that's an interesting question. Let me think about that. James Faust, if you're 1,000 miles from your terminal, will the company send the mechanic out to adjust your brakes? Well, no, but you know what? If they're out there and they say you can't adjust them, then they ought to send you to a truck stop or to a certified shop to get it done. Yep. Only good lease is a beachfront condo. Oh, that's very good. Right. Maybe the guy that had a heart attack and slammed the brakes as a freak reaction. Maybe. That's possible too. Gotcha, thanks. Barely got in the industry for a year and a half, looking to work as a company driver for 2 years. Look, save up during this 2 years and go buy a truck somewhere. A used truck from one of these places and get into trucking that way. Big gamble in trucking, it is. That's why, look, as a company driver, there's zero risk for me, really. Company closes, I'll go work at a different company. So it's a problem. Michael Muller, stopping the clock is terrible, left a comment. Yeah, and apparently we get more time to do it now with the ATA, thanks to them. Could I possibly speak on why over-the-road guys don't get paid as much as dedicated and expedited? Well, yeah, because they'll take it. I mean, seriously. A lot of over-the-road, the largest companies hire what? Students. England, Swift, Knight, CRST, all these huge companies that are over-the-road, they have a lot of the over-the-road freight. They don't pay as much, and so they get people that will do it. And so once you get more experience, you move off of that, right? And then you get more money. So I think over-the-road is just because people are conditioned over the years to accept not being paid, really. Because local people, nobody would accept sitting around for hours without getting paid if you're home every day. But over the road, it's just like part of the job. Weren't they teaching brake adjustment in school? Certainly. No. So, new to the channel, what's somebody take on percentage versus cents per mile? Personally, I like cents per mile. This is another one of those controversial things. Percentage, you never know if you're getting the right percentage. You know, the company says 30%. Are they telling you the truth? Who knows? At least on the mileage pay, I know what I'm getting. K-Dub would like to buy me lunch and dinner. That's awesome. I'm sure we could talk about a lot. That would be great since we like trucking and cars. Yes. Huge car fan here. I've had the opportunity to drive numerous exotic cars. I go to car shows. I went to a Jaguar event, Lincoln event, driving event up in Chicago. We had spend the day with Jaguar. How creative an event is that? Right. So I'm also a huge car fan. We don't talk about that on here much because it's not exotic car answers. But yeah, agility is far more important than flatbedding. The hardest thing you have to do is climb. There's a lot of that. You do need to have some strength, right? I'm home daily, 4-day work week, hauling milk. It's 13, 14-hour days. Yikes. Paid hourly, love the money, but using a ramp and handcart is getting old. Is going tandems worth it career-wise? Is going tandems, doubles? Look, if you can't do it or don't want to do it, absolutely, look around. I mean, that's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of work. Percentage pay is bad. If the rates drop, so does your check. Yes. So the rates take a dump down into the dumpers. You just lost a bunch of money. So, but you have the other side of it. Rates go up, you get a raise. So you kind of ride the market yourself as a company driver. I got a red light cam ticket in the mail from Hannibal, Missouri. Got your legal team on it. Oh, let me know how that goes. Yeah, let me know what happens with that. Trucker Hershey, time for dinner. How long? I don't know. It's do have to get out of here shortly, so I'm still thinking about what I would have wanted to know. Comfortable man, Mark, I own a 75 convertible with 16,000 miles. That would be super sweet. Picture of the guy killed by beams looked like he only had chains on there. And you would, well, okay, I don't know. The way the picture showed, I can only assume that there's a bulkhead. It'd be required, right? It's required on that load. So if there's no bulkhead on that truck, that's part of your problem right there. But that'd be required. 75 Caddy is a lot of car. Yeah, a lot of car at the gas station. 242 yesterday. Come December, any change coming to the ELD other than mandatory? No hours change. And now with this delay, we're probably looking at late winter before we hear any more hours of service actual changes before they get them down to where they're changed. Send them a photo of the check for the ticket. Oh, here's your pay. That's pretty good. Michael has an 82 Mercedes 300 TD. That's awesome, too. You don't see many of those classic Benzes around. Comfortable man likes that Caddy. Yeah, we need to get a car show together. 1,200 miles for 600 because the load pays 600. It's worth millions. Great. Isn't that brilliant? iSupply is offering 50 cents per mile and 30 cents per piece. Unloaded. Average 12 to 1,500 pieces per day, presumably. So 30 cents, what? That's another 36. Depends how many miles you get, right? If you can get some miles doing that, certainly. And, is that meet your needs? Does that job meet your needs? That's the question. Do they get you home when you want to? Do they run where you want to? That's part of it. You don't have to make the most money. Does the job meet your needs? Most people here make more money than me, but this job meets my needs, and so that's why I take it. It isn't about the money. It's, are you doing what you want to do? Do they, compensate you correctly for what you're doing? Just start a Costco fleet, paid all hours, time and a half after 8 and double time after 12. That's very good. It's amazing that you can do that when there are people that sit around and don't get paid. There's jobs that pay for all of your time. You don't have to sit without being paid. You don't have to do it. Something you wish you knew when you started, how the industry would change from the way it used to be. Just started with SOAR. Hopefully they're they're good. It was SOAR or ShipX. Yeah, let me know how SOAR went. I've heard, up and down about them. Half of your truck was over the line in the red light cam. Well, let me know what the lawyer says on it. Only way I'd pull coil well. I used to have an 89 Chevy Caprice shaggin' wagon with the mother-in-law seats. I had a 1978 Buick Electra Estate, which had this rear-facing seat, which was super awesome with the 403 Oldsmobile engine last year that they put in that car. That was really, really good. Our driver would stop speeding up when they're getting passed by a slower truck. I know, you go to pass somebody, and the driver's like, holy crap, I'm being passed. I need to speed up to 75. I had that the other day. This guy's going 59. I don't know why. I go to pass him. I get right up even. Zoom, gone. I pull back over, 75 on the radar thing. What is going? Why? What are we doing here? K-Dub has a 700 horse Dodge Cummins and an 84 Chevy K20. I'll say rolling burnouts are a blast. That'd be something. Pay half the ticket. Oh, then they send you back a photo of the handcuffs. That would be really good. Right? That'd be really good. I wish that, I don't know. I guess I wish on the road, I wish they would have just taught me logs better, I think, because really I had no log training at all. That was my biggest problem, trying to figure out the logs and when I could drive and all that. My first over-the-road job was flatbed. So I wish the company would have taught me logs. They went through all this. I had a week of flatbed training. Went into Chicago to all the different steel places, and we would strap down chain, all kinds of loads, learned every different kind of load that they had. And then they're like on the road, and this is my first job on the road because I was local initially. Then went on the road, and then I'm like, holy crap. So I think I wish somebody would have taught me logging. How to log, I had to figure all that stuff out, which was easier then because the logs were easier. I went to get on the internet to figure it out. Couldn't get on. There was no service. Al Gore hadn't invented anything yet. Had to just go figure all this stuff out. It's only 130, but it's a moving violation. Oh, so you want to get that moving violation off. Maybe they'll do it. I've heard a lot of lawyer stories where they'll get it knocked down. We'll see what happens. Get open road to fight it. I'm late, but I'm here now. Sorry, overslept. Big, huge Mike. Yeah, I'm getting ready to head out, though. But thanks for coming in, Big, huge Mike. I do appreciate it on Labor Day. Thank you, everybody, for being here on Labor Day, really. I want to do a BP break. I have to go through my BP break. Don't forget to get a Blue Parrot. Stay legal. And if you need a good job, stay legal and go to GP Transco. They'll even take your dog, working on getting them to allow exotic pets. Tomorrow, of course, Jay's live at 8 p.m. Central. Yes, and he's coming on even this week as a holiday. He will be there. So, absolutely. Gracie will consider doing that. Don't forget about OIDA. You should join OIDA. You really should. I'm a member. You should be a member. It's the only thing fighting for us. The ATA, they're not for drivers, all right? They're horrible. They should go away immediately. I think we can all agree with that, certainly. So I want to thank everybody for being here today on the show on Labor Day. You came in on Labor Day. I didn't know if anybody would be here. So thanks. In our final tally here, we have 21 to 25 drivers are paid and 11 drivers not paid for the holiday. So that is something. I'm surprised, and I'm glad people are getting paid. Demand to get paid on the holiday and for all of your time, really. Source 44 cents, regional, that's not great. 6,000, a cent raise every year. Max to 49. That isn't super great, but we'll see how many miles you get. And if it works for you, then it is worth it. Mark of Excellence thinks you could get it knocked down. I hope so. Get it out of the moving thing. I like the hockey sponsorship time. Yes. Michael Muller, thank you for being here and being first today. I appreciate it. Adam, any law dealing with truck in Aurora, Colorado is felony. Any law dealing with truck in Aurora is a felony. Cassius King, thanks for being here. Big, huge Mike for coming in. James Faust, I appreciate you coming in and staying for the show. Thank you. K-Dub Milkman, that was pretty interesting. What you're doing over. I think that's really good. Rusty Nail, thanks for being here. The Heady Trucker, everybody that is on here today and every day, thank you for being here. You can't do the show without you. It's just me without you. So that's nothing, really, believe me. So I appreciate everybody taking their time and being on the show. So thank you. Be safe out there, and we will, of course, be back with more videos as the week goes on, all right? I will see you on here. Thanks for being here.